Will you be streaming when I go to bed?
More than likely, dude. Yeah, we'll be finishing race 2. More than likely, buddy. What's up, dude? Just give me 2 seconds, mate. Let me just share this. Stream a second, bud.
Can you say
supercalifragilisticexpialidocious?
No, you can actually, you and Auntie Anna can do it, me boy can't.
Okay,
You
see you later, mate. Love you.
Love you.
Go and turn that light off and shut that door for me, please, dude. Okay. Maybe turn the light on while you get your quick drink then. Tony's on the bus. Oh, fucking twats. Fucking twats. Fucking twats. Love you really, Tony. How is Mike still 4th?
Fuck knows.
You what, Jam? Yeah, but that won't make him 4th, would it? Won't make him 4th though, would it? Well, Dan, has PN told you how you can do the cameras on your controller?
I don't fucking care what PN fucking says, the little fucking scretin.
Oh no, he's found out how to do it, and I says maybe you should tell Dan. Alright, no worries.
Maybe you should fucking tell Dan, but you know what? The fucking little ball bag won't talk to me, so...
No, he won't, so I've taken it, he hasn't told you.
Yeah, no, of course he fucking hasn't.
Brilliant.
A little fucking whining little cunt with Quaver's fucking fingernails, motherfucking...
He didn't come in last
trains
night.
of fucking shit, fucking wank,
Hey,
fucking
Dan,
homophobic
Matt's found
gay.
some how you can control the cameras on the
Oh, have
path.
you, Matt?
Yeah.
Oh, Matt, how'd you do that?
I'll find out tonight and let get back to you.
Oh, okay, thanks, man. I thought you knew.
No, he was telling me, because he's like, oh, I can't be asked to keep plugging the keyboard in. And I went, oh, so you could do it on controller? He said, yeah, found the way how to do it. I went, oh, could you tell Dan? Yeah, I'll tell Dan. Yeah, Dan's racing. Come on, Dan.
Yes, Jammy!
Says yes, Jammy. It's only free practice, Jammy. Yeah, but it's only free practice. He's sandbagging at the minute, Jammy. He's just making him look slow. And then it'll come to a race and he'll put it on pole and I'll start shouting.
I'm doing preparation. I'm doing my prep.
Make sure you're first in all races.
Tell James just to hang in there 5 minutes.
Dan says wait 5 minutes. Come here and wait 5 minutes.
Okay. I'll wait 5 minutes.
Turn these lights off for me. You what, Jamie? Nice. No, what areas? Oh, there, Slappy's just started it.
Go, go, go.
Which one? The black one. Overtaker's probably returning to the pits, mate. Is Overtaker bad? He's not bad, he's just a cunt.
Are you on your own commentating?
No, I've sadly got Peony.
Oh no. Peony?
Yeah.
A guy who plays with trains?
That's the one.
He's an adult. He plays with trains. And I'm a child. And I don't even play with trains.
Dan's gonna crash in a minute.
I'm trying not to laugh.
No, Phil Reagan is.
Yeah, that's Peony.
Oh, why is he taking Phil?
Because his name's Phil.
Oh, that's his name.
Yeah.
Speak to the devil.
He won't join this party, Mike. Dan's in here.
No, no. Not a bad thing.
He didn't join it last night. Tony was like, "Oh, I'll leave now before PM comes in." Me and Dan's like, "No, you're not joining while Dan's here." We left it as late as possible, trying to sort that Ellie thing out. And when we went, Tony went, "Right, I've pressed the button, see you in a bit." And he left the party.
Dan's in third, yay!
And then he tried to start one.
He started the country file one, didn't he?
I'm gonna go now.
Alright, and dude.
Good luck, Dan. Get first. I'm aiming third, so you're gonna do better. I believe in you. Number 1 driver. Switzerland. Blue. That's why I'm my favourite car driver.
You're cheering for Dan. Dan's your favourite driver at SimPlay because he's got a blue car and it's a Swiss flag.
And he's number 1.
And he's number 1. What if somebody was
I'm
number
not,
80?
I'm not good. I'm in the blue car and I've got number 1 twice.
And if someone...
Don't know
and
why.
if someone's 30...
Oh, does that mean I need to be 111 next season because I've had 3 constructors?
666.
The amount of constructors
No, the reason you got two number 1s is because you pirouette so much. You see double.
Yours is better than Dan. Dan, I'm
Oh, I
sorry,
need more
but
mons than that.
my
There ain't enough fucking
dad-
characters.
My dad is better because
Go on,
he's
you
my
go because I
dad.
need to shoot.
Right, bye. Good luck, Dan. Bye.
Thanks, James.
Right, Jamie. Love you,
If I
bud.
win, I dedicate it to
Shut
him.
that door, dude.
I will.
Thank you, bud.
Good luck, Dan. See you then.
I told him wish good luck to a driver that much since Tom Ingram.
He probably thinks I'm driving a car that looks like Tom Ingram's.
Okay, probably. It did say it's blue and it's got a Swiss flag on the front. Mike's doesn't have a Swiss flag. I tell you what, we've only got fucking 16 cars, there's only 15 in lobby. 9/10 separate the top 11. Could still be a cracking night's worth of action, to be fair. Do you know what I mean, Dawn? What time do England kick off?
Bothered.
Any minute now, I think.
Up the grease.
You're not very much supporting your nation, are you, Matt?
My country don't play till Saturday.
England are on again on Saturday.
Nope. Oh, they are actually in the rugby. I think they're playing the world #1 side in South Africa.
You've done really loud.
Yeah, it's because I've just
He's
put my
changed
other
his
mic in. And I had to turn my mic volume up last night because I was losing my voice. People couldn't hear me. Dan were losing his voice.
Oh, right.
Should have heard us. We were alright, pet dance. Dance. I'm fucking qualified. I'm like, Dan, I'm going to have to get a drink. I can't talk.
Yeah, I got a fucking cold, and then he starts losing his fucking voice. I'm like, oh, great, man.
And I've got
Thanks.
work on Sunday, actual racing leash.
And this is where you could do with Kelly.
Yeah.
Completely blabbering on about any random fucking
You're
shit.
hitting your mic, Matt.
I'm just moving it. Yeah, my old stand's broke, so I'm having to hold it on this little thing. So I've got to move it around a bit. Need to get my stand sorted.
Track doesn't feel as great as the last session.
No, don't feel as great as when I did my best lap here. 29.4. Oh, 4/10 slower than you in sector 1.
Yeah, but don't forget, that's probably all on the start straight.
I'm faster in sector 1. 34.9, 10th slow. It's all sector 1.
It's probably the start
Everything.
straight, Mike.
No, because Skunk is fucking 2 tenths faster than me. Sector 3 Skunky is up on me as well as sector 1.
Well, it's 4/10 in both first and final sector.
It all depends on when you're putting the throttle down on turn 3. If you put it down too soon, you can
you gotta
understeer
lift
wide.
again. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to really nail it. And there's a couple of marshals on the inside.
I found hugging turn 3 is better. If you can wait a bit longer and hug turn 3.
You'd probably be killing your tyre more though, sure.
You kind of want, yeah, that's the problem that you kill the tyre. You want to be, you want to find that middle spot. There's a couple of marshals on the inside that I use as reference point.
No.
You got there's 2 marshals there. The first one is when I start easing the power on, and then the second one I should pretty much be on power by the time I get to him. Oh God.
Alright, I'm gonna go for a wee, set up all of the chat, and then I'll start my stream and shit and try Big Fuel and that fastest time I've done was actually when I was doing my fucking 20-minute run.
If I don't speak to you when you're back then, Mike, best of luck tonight.
Yeah, no worries. I'm gonna start that party now.
Are you going to sort the lobby out after, yeah? While I do interviews and everything?
Yeah.
Cheers,
I
bud.
don't suppose I'll be on the fucking podium.
Well, by the
What was
way,
it you said, Gary, you had to do?
I'd really enjoy a podium round here. I'd really love a win around here. But say it in like a way like you're praying or something.
Yeah. No, I'll be alright. I'll just wing it. Like I normally do.
Don't forget, if you do get podium in race 1, you can join the interviews, because I noticed you didn't last week.
Oh, I didn't think you was doing interviews for race 1.
We're not. We're doing them all at the end. So if you do get one in race 1,
right.
you can join at the end.
That.
I didn't know you was doing all drivers who got podiums in both races.
That's all can come in, because barely anybody comes in for interviews now. So if all come in from any race wins.
I don't know. I popped in for an interview. I don't get many of them. Oh, that's me fucked for the season. That's my one and only.
You never know what's going to happen here yet.
Yeah. Oh well. Right. I'll
See you later, dude.
See you in the party, Dan, and I'll see you later.
Yeah, see you later, dude.
I'm off too. Catch you
Oh,
later.
Tony,
later,
don't be
Tony.
like that. Tone, don't leave me just yet.
I'm watching the football.
Channel's it on, Tony?
ITV 1.
Alright, thanks, Tone. Love you.
Whatever.
See, that's how I know you love me. You don't say no. Oh, my glasses need cleaning. Oh, bye, done. Come on, Edward.
I'm trying, man.
Matt,
Yeah.
I'm glad you're in here.
I'm glad I'm in here too.
So, obviously, you know that you obviously rip into obviously my fellow driver here.
It's not ripping in. I'd say more character building.
I mean, oh yeah, character building.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I meant. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I got it wrong. Sorry.
That's right.
That's right. Can we touch on the subject of someone bigging themselves up in your Twitch yesterday and then done absolute fuck all in yesterday's race?
Are you on about Mr. Wakasaki, the other Greasy Bandits driver, as far as Monkey Boy's concerned?
Yeah.
Oh, just to say, Cloud, Dean's a Greasy Bandits racing driver. His team with Greasy Bandits Junior with the other Dean. That's only if Monkey Boy's around and asks, yeah?
Come again, what?
Dean Wasocki
Yeah.
is Greasy Bandits Jr. with other Dean, John's Dean,
Yeah.
for this season, if Monkey Boy asks. Good lad.
Right. Cool. Got ya. Sorry, I've just got. Sorry, I'm locked in. That's why I was like, huh?
Monkey loves Dean that much. I think it should be done just to really wind Monkey up. But no. Well, I mean, Dean beat Kieran.
Yeah.
And I'd like to point out the BMW was shit around this circuit.
Oh no, it was fucking shit. To be fair though, you say that, but fucking Rob Smith was fucking.
Rob Smith and Francisco had it dialed in.
Fuck me. Like,
I don't think
Rob Smith
the
was
BM's
flying.
that great round here. I drove it Sunday. I was
And-
twitchy as fuck.
And Tech kind of in a way had it toned in as well.
It's got the
I don't know.
pace, but it just
don't know
doesn't
if
feel comfortable.
Yeah, it might just. But they're getting again though. It's like what you said on stream, and like what you've said on all the other streams, and obviously I agree with it because I've tested it myself. But the BMW goes for a massive drop point, doesn't it?
Has
Like,
20,
hits the wall.
15, 20 minutes in, it's a wall for a good 5 or 10 minutes and comes back.
Like it's but it's not like a little bit. Like it's not like.
It just goes so slidey.
It's fucking really bad.
Yeah. And if you can dial that out or just live with it for a little bit, it's fine.
Come on.
Yeah.
I want to touch on something that you was talking about in stream as well.
Go on.
Corvette. That's
All
my
right,
choice.
thank you. Keep it for the main broadcast tonight,
I
because
just wanted to.
hey, I may need some chatter in the broadcast tonight.
You got.
There's 15 cars, possibly 16.
He might have another fucking stroke. You know, you might mention.
Oh, fuck's sake.
I hope not.
No.
Well,
Fuck.
Cloud.
when I end up, when I go on.
Can't park there, sir.
When I do end up having to come into pros, and if I can't race on the Thursday, I might end up being your new partner.
Well, I've got Kelly, potentially,
Yeah, well, that's fine.
for next season, so I'll let you know, because he's on about coming
not
back to
like
do
you haven't-
comms.
But then, if Kelly's coming back,
Mm.
then we can touch on maybe trying to get this AMS back up then.
Potentially so, yeah, potentially so, I hope so,
Because
but
there'll be you, Dan, potentially me if I can't race on Wednesdays
Yeah.
anymore. On Thursday, sorry.
yeah.
Then you have Kelly, fucking retard as well. Sorry, I mean PN.
Wild.
Who else? Oh, and we've got that fucking Yoshi if he pulls his finger
Fuck
out.
it, yeah, if he ever does anything. Oh, fuck. Nigel lost to Sedan, beat Sedan 4-0. I wanted to watch that game. Cunt. Korea lost to Iran. I wanted to watch that game and all.
Give me 2 minutes.
Bahrain lost to China. Oh, bastard. Where is he? He's from again? His family? St. Vincent, St. Kitts and Nevis. It's one of the saints, isn't it?
Yeah.
St. Lucia, St. Martin.
Ask him to play.
I will do. I'll best start the stream. Can you tell I'm delaying going into the other party for the comms box?
Just let him start it.
I said to him last night. I started losing my voice, on stream last night. I don't know if you heard.
Yeah,
Voice started to
it was
go.
like, sounded like you. It was fucking well funny. I was thinking to myself because I watched it today. I was like, "Fucking hell!" Like between you two, you'd fucking make
Honest
a
to fucking
decent
God, it was
voice.
terrible. And said to Phil last night. Said, "Oh, you might have to do the brunt of the work." No, I'm not doing it. Oh, look, Phil, I've got work on Monday, and obviously my voice is my equipment for work. I've got Race Unleashed. Nah, I can't do that. I'm not confident enough to do it on my own. So he's not going to be on your own.
Fuck up.
I'm going to be with
He's
you.
done it by himself. What
Yeah.
about? He's done it by
Yeah.
himself. The fucking retard.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking hell. That's what fucks me off with him. Picks and fucking chooses when he wants to fucking.
Who is the 16th driver that is not yet in? It's Gary.
Yeah, he'll come in last minute, won't he?
Yeah.
I think he does it because of his connection, doesn't he?
His connection,
And
but
he
his kid as
generally-
well. He puts his kid to bed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to say. Oh,
Jamal,
I'm back.
where are you from again? Where's your family from?
St. Vincent and the
St.
Grenadines.
Vincent. They're not playing tonight, are they? Yes, they are. Oh, they're on at 8 against Montserrat
Fucking hell.
in the
What,
CONCACAF
football?
Nation football. 8
Yeah,
p.m.
football.
Oh,
Shut up.
Montserrat. Yeah, Montserrat versus St. Vincent and the Grenadines. 8 o'clock.
What channel?
Oh, fuck knows. It's just on BBC Sport.
Probably some fucking.
His name's J. Barnum Bob. That must be Jamal.
Margie.
Jamal Barnum Bob.
I just had a word from Matt saying that St.
Jamal
Vincent
York.
playing football
Jamal
tonight,
Stowe.
so
These are all
You
Jamals.
might wanna go and find that out.
Jamal Barter. Jamal, there's a team of Jamals here.
Come again.
All these J dots, the J must stand for Jamal, surely.
Behave.
Jamal York, Jamal Stowe, Jamal Barnum Bob. What a name that is, Barnum Bob. What a guy.
You're funny. You're funny. You're taking the blood clot piss now, Ruben. You know what I'm saying?
Number 17. Number 17 is called Edwards. Imagine his name was Edwards Scissorhands.
Respectfully, yeah, and this is with the utmost respect, yeah. Fuck you.
It's all banter, Jamal. It's all banter, dude. All banter, dude. All love from me. Hey, all love from me.
Oh, I know.
Well, you're cheating and all. You've got 11 and substitutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You've got 12 substitutes. They've only got 5.
What do you mean?
Fucking hell, you brought extra players. No way. Is that Lee Bowyer as in the Charlton player, Lee Bowyer?
Yeah, it can't be. It can't be.
He's the manager of Montserrat.
No fucking way. What I was just about to say, Matt, those 5 players that are on subs for the other team is probably players from their team. They've loaned them to them.
The manager for Montserrat is Lee Bowyer.
No way.
Seriously, I'm Googling it now. Lee Bowyer, former Leeds United, Newcastle, Birmingham man listed
What
on
a
shot move to
manager
Caribbean
you've
Island.
got.
Former Leeds United star Lee Bowyer has opened up on his decision to take... Yeah, he's the manager of Montserrat.
No
Fuck
fucking
him.
way. That's
St. Vincent don't stand a chance. They've got... Who've they
Yeah,
got?
no,
Ezra Hendrickson. They're playing a 4-2-3-1, possibly a gegenpress. With Jamal Barter, the number 13. Edwards, Scissorhands on the bench. That's a great name, that is. Oh, Barnum Bob. Go on, Barnum.
You got to sign him.
Oh, I'm keeping an eye on this. That's he's going straight in the Sherwood Forest team.
Barnum Bob.
Barnum Bob.
I'm ignoring
Have you seen
He comes up. He's...
Mean Machine?
Oh, yeah, what a film.
Alright, Bob. How you doing, Bob? Yes, Bob.
Bowyer's just gone with the traditional 4-4-2 for Montserrat, whereas Ezra Hendrickson has gone for a 4-2-3-1. I like that. That's the tactic I play.
Why do I recognise that name as well, Ezra Hendrickson?
Oh, they've got a head-to-head. The form guide. Fuck me, St. Vincent's on right form. I mean, they've played El Salvador 5 times in the last 5 games. But Montserrat lost to Bonaire, beat Bonaire, lost to... Whoa! Last time you played each other, it was a 2-0 win to St. Vincent. Go on, boys. Come on. You're so clear.
You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
Where are you in the group? Oh, second in the group. Win tonight, could go top. Could go top. El Salvador, Bonaire, Montserrat and St. Vincent.
And we...
That might be
Is
the
that live
reason
on
why
YouTube?
I recognise that name.
And we is live.
Montserrat.
Wait, who's...
Please don't say fuck or bugger.
Oi, go check out... I mean, I know Jardy is racing. I'm watching Georgia stream on Twitch. They're going around the nods. In the wet.
Oh, it's live on YouTube, Jamal.
Alright, I'll let her know. I'll let Marjorie know.
Fuck streaming pros.
Fuck, I forgot it's 8
Stream
o'clock.
at
I need to get in the SimPlay Motorsport comms box. Yeah, I'll start it in a minute. Fuck it. Oh, I want to skip ad. That said it kicked off at 8. Oh, they've played 40. Well, there's no one in the stand. Oh, I like the fucking Montserrat kit. Look, it's like a mint green.
Send me the link, Matt.
Oh, yeah.
Watch this.
I want you in the chat tonight. Score updates.
Fuck me.
Do you want the link, Jamal?
Yeah, go on, send me the link. And then I can forward it to Marge.
Right, cricket. Here's one for you. In the Caribbean islands.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's like in England, you've got your county teams like Kent, Nottinghamshire, Sussex, stuff like that, yeah?
Yeah.
The Caribbean, if I'm correct, their domestic league, obviously West Indies is the country, isn't it? But your domestic league is
that's
all
the
the
whole Caribbean.
That's what I'm saying, though. The West Indies is classed as the country, like when they play England or Australia. But your domestic league is like Jamaica versus like St. Vincent and stuff like that, innit?
Correct, yeah.
So your domestic team, so like your Jamaica is the equivalent to Nottinghamshire.
Yeah.
That's baffling. That's just baffling.
Who's-
Notts play a country, but then England play the whole country, the whole fucking island.
It's like so like, say for example, if you're going from say London to Nottingham,
Yeah.
that's what
It's 3 hours. 3 and a bit
yeah,
hours.
about 3-4 hours. Yeah. From St. Vincent to probably Jamaica, that's what 45 minutes by plane.
Yeah,
Probably
and
a
plus,
couple
yeah.
hours by boat.
Fucking honestly, that's crazy just to think, though, innit? Their domestic league is all the Caribbean countries, and then when they're playing the World Cup, the country is West Indies, sort of thing. You know what I mean? That's crazy.
Yeah.
This looks a lovely stadium, by the way, and there's fucking nobody in
I love
it.
their kit.
Oh, which one?
The blue.
The Monstrat one.
Yeah, I love that.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines. They got up their game on the kit colours, man. I mean, the yellow's not bad, but that mint blue.
Do you know who it reminds me of? A bit. The orange or yellow kit.
Go on.
Fucking Wolves.
Yeah.
Ooh!
Oh, St. Vincent's in. Oh, he's gone for it! Oh, he's hit the ball! Go on, St. Vincent. Oh, that was definitely... What was his name? That was Thingy Bob. That's the guy. Right. As much as I'm enjoying this, I got to go in the comms box.
Alright, mate.
Oh, hang on. They've intercepted the ball here. Oh, that's audacious. Whoa.
Penalty.
Hey,
Yeah, it's not really.
Gaffer, sort them out. They're shooting from 40 yards out here. Have a
mean,
look.
that
Oh,
is
they've won a
quite
corner.
nice kit, actually.
Oh, actually, I like the St. Vincent kit, dude. The bit of blue on that. I
Yeah,
didn't
I
see the
do
blue
too.
on that. That's nice.
Oh yeah, watching it now still.
Yeah, that is such a waste.
That
of a
stadium looks so huge for
It's better
nobody.
than some of our fucking non-league.
Oh, that's better than that's better than fucking Stags.
Watch
And they've got the
Dede.
weather for it. Ball in.
Oh, he's away. Oh. Wow.
Right, I need to quit comms box. See you in a bit, boys.
Yeah,
Best
go
of luck, Cloud.
Ladies, thank you.
Bless him.
Philip.
Matthew,
Fucking Philip.
you're not my parents. You can't call me that.
I've called you.
You can only call me that if you suck my dick.
Oh, dear. This is it, by the way, for tonight.
60.
Yep.
Ever what? 3 cars for the endurance race on Saturday?
I don't know. I'm going to tag everybody tomorrow.
Why would anyone want to watch England play?
Well, Beasley and O'Reilly we know.
Yeah, O'Reilly's wheels.
Diz is probably working because he's obviously a police officer.
Yeah.
Max is Dutch, so he won't be watching England. Insert Coin's Portuguese, so he won't be watching England. Cosme, I can't remember. Tibbs is American, so he's probably not confirmed because his boyfriend hasn't. Witchrup's Dane. Daz has got the Carpenter ad. Eckholt's Dane, and Tim Ventic declined as well because his boyfriend's not racing, so... Unsure.
11 drivers confirmed for Saturday.
Yeah, I'll work that out after. I'm going to tag everybody tonight. Right, we are going to go live in 5-4. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to SimPlay Motorsport here for the final race of the week. It is pro time here at Catalunya. What a track this is! What a bit of racing we've had all week. Great sprint racing, yes, a great hour-long race as well. It did sort of peter off towards the end, but that is a proper hour-long race, and the GT4s was special as always, none more so than that race 3 with 6 drivers, 6 different manufactured cars fighting for the final race win. It was a great race to watch. If you want to go back and see them, make sure you go back on the channel and have a look at Ian Interfiore's granddad and Rob Smith in the chat as well as the other 15, 16 people in there. If you are new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, the thumbs up as well as the bell to be notified. We are ready to go then here for Catalonia. It's rounds 13 and 14 of the season here in the pro season. Out of 24 rounds, obviously, we move to Valencia next week, the Circuit Ricardo Tormo, in what is going to be a fantastic race. So I'm joined in the box once again by Phil Raiden, my co-commentator. Phil, Catalonia, and the rain and gloomy skies have cleared. We've got a glorious day today.
Yeah, I want rain. After watching that race on GT4s, that race 1 where we had the nice mixed conditions, where's the rain gone? Come on.
We haven't actually had a full wet race.
We can't have a dry season.
We had a dry season in the winter, by the way. We've only had the 2 GT4 races where it's been mixed. One at Misano and one here.
Yeah, it's unheard of. Well, there's climate change for you, though. There's another story.
And surely, there's 3 tracks left on the calendar. COTA, I'm expecting a pretty dry COTA, if I'm going to be honest. You know, in Texas, should be pretty decent weather there. But it can rain. The 3 I'm expecting to be wet is Suzuka, Alton, Donny.
Yeah, and judging how rapid the temperature's about to drop over the weekend here in the UK.
I mean, you say over the weekend. I'm 45 minutes from Donny. It has dropped massively here these last 2 days. So, yeah, the weather's on the way.
Minutes from Snetterton, and same story. And that place, because it's open, you really feel the cold at Snetterton.
The one as well is obviously we know the floods that Valencia have really recently suffered, which have been quite a disaster over there. Obviously the MotoGP, for example, has gone from Valencia this weekend, which is its season finale, to Catalonia itself, with the weather is looking great. I'm just looking, I've searched for the Circuit Ricardo Tormo, which is the weather in Valencia, and right now there is thunderstorms, which is just brilliant. You know, good rain today, a lot of rain tomorrow, and I guess what the weather's saying for next week.
We're about the same, which they don't need.
Sunshine is what the weather's saying next week.
They're so waterlogged from the flash floods I've had.
But just a shame. It's just a shame that we can't have a flooded circuit to start with, and then with the sunshine it could try and possibly dry. That's not how it's going to work. Obviously the weather looks like it's pretty clear at the moment, but yeah, what has happened in Valencia is obviously such a travesty, and it really out of nowhere. I can't remember how much rain they had in one go. It was really
they had a year's worth of rain in one day.
In one day, and it was really tragic. You see the images of the cars just being pushed like there's no tomorrow through these floods, wasn't there?
And people were trapped in them.
Yeah.
And
so our heart at SimPlay Motorsport goes out to all the victims of the floods in Valencia, and wish the families and and everybody else our deepest condolences. Obviously we go there next week, and it's maybe a topic that could be raised next week. Obviously the weather looks decent for there though at the moment. Don't forget we do have our endurance race at Bathurst this Saturday. If you want to get yourself involved in that, make sure you either try and DM me, Matthew Duffin, on the Discord. I've just gone on the weather. My days, right? I've just loaded AccuWeather up. The way where it takes me is to Silverstone, because that's the one where I linked it, so I could just press on the button to get to it. Apparently there is snow around for this evening at Silverstone. Mostly cloudy, a little snow at times. So Silverstone's got snow on its way, right? So it's probably a good job we're not there. But at Bathurst at the moment, if you're wondering what the weather is for Bathurst, that's the wrong keyboard to be typing on. Mount
we can't have snow in this game, though.
Panorama. No, we can't, but it will obviously make it wet. We look at the Mount Panorama sign, which is where I think we took the weather from earlier this year. Saturday, 25% chance of rain. Sunday, 100% chance of rain. So let's hope that rain comes across a bit more, and we have a bit of a Silverstone where it was great mixed conditions.
It's a 4-hour race. And if randomness is on, which
Yeah.
it should be,
Yeah.
it can still rain at 25%.
Yeah, massively so. Massively so. Good evening to Paul Williams as well in the chat. Evening all night. 3 of 3 of racing from Barcelona. Looking forward, sitting back, relaxing, no stress of racing. 4 trips around there was enough for me, says Paul Williams. Evening all. GT4 at Valencia is great, but GT3s are too big for the track. I see what you're saying there, Rob Smith. O'Reilly's in the chat. Gutted to be missing this one. Hoping for some close racing around here. O'Reilly will not be taking part for this race and possibly for the foreseeable future. He's had to send his wheel back for repairs. That is why he's missing from the grid. Same sentiments from all of us here at FBR in terms of the Valencia people as well. And Hypertech is there in the chat. Now, I was having the privilege of speaking to Hypertech and Clouden, Edward Sissons, before we came on air today. Clouden's family being from St Vincent and the Grenadines, who are in the football tonight. Managed to find that they've got a link on YouTube, so go on the St Vincent. Also, I know there's other football games on as well tonight. I don't know if that's why we have such a small grid, Phil, but it's a small grid that was separated with Fraser O'Brien, who we had the name spelt wrong last week. It's Brien. Fraser O'Brien topped that timing screen by 1/10 of a second from Overtaker and Dan. The field separated by 1.3. Gary Leach only did the 3 laps at the end, so it's still a very close field.
Yeah, well, it's going to punish you if you make a mistake now, because how close the field is, because that makes it even harder to overtake them.
As Dan there saying, we miss you, Kieran, in the chat. Obviously, Kieran was a massive part of this championship for this season. It's now, with Kieran missing this week, Philly obviously had the drop score of Bathurst at the start of the season of 0. This kind of makes it a 2-horse fight, doesn't it, between Dan and Skunky now?
Yeah, outside chance maybe Overtaker, but because he's missed 2 weeks.
I just noticed a glitch on the grid. So the grid order is now not right. We do apologise to Overtaker for this.
He should be in front of Skunky.
We're gonna run through the grid order now for you. Round 11 here at the Pro Reverse Grid race. It's meant to be O'Brien from Rasmussen. That is absolutely correct. Row 2 is then Ledger and Blackmore, with row 3 being Paolo and Gary Leach. Row 4 then of 7th and 8th is Pedro Viena and Ben, with row 5 being Jamal Clouden and Mike Matthews. Row 6 is Matt Wright and Ian McGowan, but that is where the problem lies. Look, Overtaker was meant to be 11th on our reverse grid. That is what the grid order was set to. McGowan 13th, Harris 14th, Skunky 15th, Dan 16th. He's put Overtaker back in 15th place. Now, that is a little glitch due to the game, not due to us. I am just going to double check that everything was set accordingly. Overtaker as well tonight, Phil, having to serve that qualifying ban. So, it's back of the grid in race 2, 15th place here. He's possibly not going to mind that as much, not being in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, well, look how bit of a cluster race 1 of Pro-Am was in the middle of the pack. That got interesting, didn't it?
It did a little bit. I'm just going to go through the config file here, Phil. Obviously, 16 cars on the grid. Phil, pick as a winner.
I want to go for O'Brien, because he's got a... Well, the Ferrari looks quite good around here.
I've got a little fun fact to you about O'Brien for you. Yeah, default grid position for Overtaker is down as 11th, so not sure what has happened there. But a little fun fact for you. I was being told by Matt Wright, his teammate, yesterday. O'Brien used to be a Porsche Carrera Cup GB driver back in about 13, 14 years ago.
Which means I probably did see him racing at Snetterton back then. Oh, God, I'm making myself feel old.
Good evening to Insert Coin, who misses tonight, as well as Paul Williams in the chat. Phil, I'm going to have to let you talk for a moment because I've got to put my microphone down. My arm is broke, so I'm now having to hold it on a little stand, but I'm having to hold it to my mouth, sort of old school Murray Walker style. So I'm going to have to let you talk a minute, just so I can type up the prediction.
Well, right, so they should be rounding into the final sector, coming to the horrible final chicane, which I despise with a passion. I'm glad they've got rid of it in Formula 1 and the other major championships, or European Le Mans Series. So we've got the first 3 cars are Ferraris, which makes me very happy, being a Ferrari person, but I prefer the Bentley. Then we've got a couple of McLarens with Blackmore and Paolo. Gary Leach in the lone Porsche. That sounds like a song we can come up. And then Vienna in the lone BMW. Lone BMW.
Yeah, indeed he is, and really a Ferrari grid out there kind of this afternoon. O'Brien, Rasmussen, Ledger and Blackmore are the drivers you have to choose from. If you disagree with any of them, please let us know in the chat who you think will win. Dan Davis, starting from the back. It's Fraser O'Brien, the Welshman, starting from the front. And for round 13, it is green and go here at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. It's a great start from O'Brien as Rasmussen took straight in behind them. Patrick Ledger, our sprint winner from last week, also there. Bit of a nudge on the back of O'Brien there from Rasmussen as they head down into Turn 1. Vienna's looking up the inside of multiple cars. Gary, race winner in the GT4s, squeezes through the middle of Blackmore and Paolo there. That is an excellent move from the two-time champion. Now Paolo gets him back done though at Turn 3. Rasmussen's also having a look at O'Brien through Turn 3. Ledger's just watching on here as they all come towards Turn 4, where Hamilton and Rosberg famously went off years ago. And Rasmussen tucks up the inside, leads this race from O'Brien with Patrick Ledger sitting in third. Gary Leach still having a look at Paolo. Paolo will have that inside line coming down in towards turn 5 now. And Gary just gets checked up a little bit by Patrick Ledger there and has to wait momentarily and gets the move done now. It's a great clean start to this race, Phil. Exactly what everybody would have wanted.
Yeah, a little bit of Robin, but Robin's racing, as I say in NASCAR. And was it? No, it was in Days of Thunder.
Days of Thunder, yeah. Jamal Cloudon's moved his way up to 9th place ahead of Mike Matthews. Then it comes Matt Wright. Ben's the one who's dropped down the order a little bit. Dan and Harris are sat towards the back of the grid. There's Overtaker having a look up the inside of Matt Wright coming in towards the hairpin. And Skunky's having a look on the back of Dan, but no can do for anybody. And look at this in the backfield then. All these cars jostling for position, and they all stay as they were before they tried to make a few moves. Harris looking up the inside of Skunky now, and he's going to get that one done. So that's a good move there for Michael Harris. Obviously not to be confused with Michael in the Nissan from last night. I kept calling him Harris. Skunky gives Harris a real clout up the rear, and that's not going to help the championship protagonist in that race against Dan. But Rasmussen leads from O'Brien with Patrick Ledger. Then comes Gary Leach, Paolo, Edward Blackmore from Pedro Viana. Then it's Jamal Cloudon, Mike Matthews, Ben, Ian McGowan, Matt Wright, Overtaker. Look at that grunt to the Ford Mustang coming down the straight, using all its horsepowers under the hood, and through up the inside he goes. Overtaker, nice move into turn 1. The run's a little deep though, and that's going to allow Matt Wright to try and come back at him in towards turn 3 here, and he does just nicely. And look at that door wide open, well and truly open for Dan Davis to try and squeeze his way up the inside. Cloudon's having a look on Pedro Viana. Dan can't get through. What about Jamal and Pedro then? Jamal is up the inside at turn 4. Great move.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever saw with Rosberg, but he once stringed from that into that hairpin where he collided with Hamilton. He goes, I've got no memory of this.
Yeah, a little track guide it was, wasn't it, for a lap around this circuit? I have seen that.
Funny to
it
watch.
Was quite brilliant. You just see the awkwardness on his face as Dan Davis here then still stuck behind Overtaker at the moment, but his closest championship rival is now at the back of the pack. 17 minutes gone, and O'Brien starting to close that gap then on this of Rasmussen at the moment. Gary Leach, I wonder if he was praying to the driving gods about another race win or podium as Paolo sends one up the inside, collects Gary, runs himself a little wide. Gary's going to get back through, as does Ed Blackmore here. Jamal Cloudon now fancies a piece of the action, can't do so. They all get checked up a little bit there, and now Jamal Cloudon's going to try and hang it around the outside in the Mercedes, and the man gets through. He is cutting his way through the field.
Yeah, his finger must have healed a little bit better now. It's been a week. As Overtaker having a look around the inside of...
Oh, Mike's around. Ben's collected him. And Mike Matthews is stationary. Ben is now going to wait for Mike Matthews to come through, but Mike Matthews here, is all getting congested, and this is what the chicane does, Phil, doesn't it? Is it really makes that traffic slow down. It tightens up, it narrows, it kind of takes the flow away from the track.
Yeah, well, imagine if they went straight through. That would help the Lexus no end with its hyperdrive it has on straight line speed.
So the front three... Sorry, Phil, carry on.
That chicane was put in originally for the bikes, for when they had MotoGP here.
Yeah. Because it was too dangerous, wasn't it? For the final 2 corners, it was too quick or something. They needed to slow them down a little bit, same as now like at Red Bull Ring where they've got the chicanes up the straight. Rasmussen's off! We were watching the leaders, but I don't see how he's gone off there. I was just looking at the timing screens, and Rasmussen is in the wall. Gary Leach is on the podium.
That looked like a wheel failure.
Yeah, I'm not going to. I'm going to wait to see it on the stream on my screen next to me. That's a little bit behind. Mike's now dropped behind with Ben, Skunky and Harris. Rasmussen still not got back going here, which would indicate to me a potential wheel failure as well. But that was very strange to see.
Oh. He's moving a little bit. Yeah, he's not moving again. So, what's he on? He's on PlayStation. So.
Oh yeah, just seen it on the stream. His car just seemed to speed up as well, as if the wheel got disconnected. Pit window is open, so Fraser O'Brien leads from Patrick Ledger. Then it's Gary Leach from Edward Blackmore. Jamal Clouden up to P5 with Paolo, then Pedro Viana, Ian McGowan, Matt Wright, Overtaker with Dan Davis, Michael Harris, Skunky, Mike Matthews, Ben, Rasmussen now down the pack. We'll be thankful that the pit window is open. Overtaker comes through then. Dan and Harris also straight into pits. I was just about to go on Overtaker to see the difference between the Mustang and the Lexus here. And as Rob Smith, Rasmussen looked like he disconnected. It accelerated into the wall. Good evening to Peaceful Stepdad as well. But Gary Leach, a bit of a train here forming behind him, Phil, as he's got Blackmore and Clouden with also Paolo and Pedro Viana not a million miles away.
Ledger won race 1 last week, didn't he, as well?
He did. Gary Leach won race 2 on Tuesday night in the GT4s. Completely different bit of machinery is in tonight, but he'll be hoping for another good outcome, another good race win. Jamal Clouden looking racy tonight. Not seen the Merc look this good all season.
No. Well, I think the long stuff in the straight is helping the Merc a little bit there, because that's where you need the horse for ponies, isn't it? So,
yeah.
Dan's comes out of the pits in front of Harris still.
Yeah, so the 4 there are as they were. Rasmussen in the pits. That possibly could be a long one. Clouden just drops the wheel into the gravel. Out front, O'Brien is still ahead of Patrick Ledger, but Gary now defending from Blackmore. Blackmore looking around the outside of Gary Leach. You're not really going to get it done around the outside there. It is a hard corner to get around the outside, and this has now brought Clouden even closer to the back of Blackmore, and Gary needs Clouden to sort of give him a helping hand here and attack that McLaren.
He does. Sort of fills in McLaren's rear view, if they got a rear view on, that is.
So through the chicane they come now. The top two haven't pitted. Gary stays out. Blackmore stays out. Clouden is in. Paolo in. Vienna in as well. Matt Wright stays out. That is Overtaker who's into the pit. Skunky's also in. And in comes Ben. So the interesting one for me now then, Phil, is Dan was right up the rear wing of that Ford Mustang. What is he going to be doing now? Because he's only just coming through the hairpin here. But it is a long pit stop. Lost time. You lose 30%, I believe it was, of the lap around here in the pits. It is a big one to lose because it's such a long pit lane.
It is. That also depends where your pit box is as well.
Yeah.
Overtaker's now in his. Dan has now come through the chicane. Overtaker's stop is done.
You lose 38 seconds in out for the perfect stop. So here comes Dan Davis. Overtaker's coming out the pit lane. Has the undercut worked around here? We're seeing Clouden's out. There's Paolo. There's Pedro Viana. There's Overtaker out the pits. Ian McGowan gets back ahead of Overtaker and retakes that spot. Here comes Dan Davis in the background. Undercut not so strong around here maybe, Phil, because Dan Davis stays where he was on Overtaker.
He does, yeah. Well, looking at these temperatures, I think in the race 2 we might have a tyre change.
Just because the nature of the circuit, I completely agree. Me and Dan spoke about this last night, is this track alone hurts the tyres. Never mind then the temperature, and it's a lot hotter than last night.
Yeah, 27 degrees track temp, looking at the top of the doodah. I keep forgetting what I'm saying. It's great.
Gary Leach, sorry Phil.
I was then going to say about Gary is holding off on Blackmore.
He really is putting that Porsche exactly where it needs to be. The problem for Gary is his speed down the straight line. It's all about that exit from the chicane, and Blackmore seems to get a good exit here. Is this going to help him? Patrick Ledger is in the pits. O'Brien then leading this race. Matt Wright stays out as well. Everybody else has pitted at the moment. Even that of Rasmussen, who is a lap down to everybody, sadly. And Blackmore just can't get on the back of Gary in time by the time they head in towards turn 1. And then down towards Jamal Clouden. Look, he's pulled away from Paolo, who's got Vienna and McGowan right there. Then Overtaker has got Dan and Skunky. Good stop from Skunky, by the way. He's jumped Harris and got right onto the rear end of Dan now.
Yeah, and Ledger's stop is done, and he's...
Oh, Vienna's had to cut the chicane. Just seen that one. Pedro Viana had to miss the chicane. So McGowan was up the back of him. I don't know if there was any contact there, but Pedro Viana has lost out a bit to Paolo. Now let's see that speed of that Lexus coming down the straight. This is looking back from Overtaker's car on that towards Dan Davis. Dan goes to the outside line. Overtaker's defending on that inside line. Here they come in towards turn 1. These old rivals of SimPlay Motorsport. And Overtaker just has a little twitch there. Dan now has a twitch on the curb. And Taker manages to keep hold of his position. Evening to Gustav in the chat. On sadly, my friend, I don't know what that says because I only understand English, but I'm going to try and get that Google translated for me as soon as possible.
You would have thought they'd have an auto translate on the chat because with Google Translate and owning YouTube, Dan's on the inside of Overtaker.
Yeah, he is up at turn 4, down the inside he goes, and that could be the move done. Overtaker's going to have to be brave around this chicane and hold the inside line, outside line to maybe have the inside for the next part of it, and he does lay it on the brakes. That's going to put him deep though, runs so deep, 2 wheels in the gravel. Dan still gives him the room. Now Skunky's through, now here comes Harris. Taker's now looking up the inside of Skunky through the next part of the track, gets it all up the curb, he gets it out of shape a little bit, has to hold on to the wiggle. Now he's trying to defend, he can't come any left to get the slipstream of Dan and Skunky, because here comes Michael Harris. Round the outside goes Harris. Taker has to fight another day.
Yeah, he would have had a little bit of dirt on the tyres as well when he ran wide through the first chicane, which ain't as bad chicane as the second one. Because that one's been there since the circuit was new.
Now, from what I can understand... Oh, come on, Julius Rasmussen is what he's put in the chat. Thank you very much there, Gustav. So a new fan cheering on Rasmussen there. Let's go NRT, says Albuquerque. Blackmore is got ahead of Gary, so that's him through by some margin as well. Matt Wright has now done his pit stop. Paul Whitcomb, it seems early on the the early stop on the feature is stronger than the sprint and was beneficial for him last night. So that's one way maybe worth keeping our eyes on, Phil. But it's O'Brien from Blackmore from Gary Leach. They're your net top 3 as well, maybe with Patrick Ledger in there. But these 3 have got to pit. Patrick Ledger from Matt Wright. Matt Wright has tucked in just ahead of Dan Davis here. So that's put him into P9 at the moment. And Dan's still down in 10th. But what a trainer course. Say there's only 16 of them. But Rasmussen having his earlier incident, it's a good trainer course here.
Yeah, and Ledger's got brilliant space around him. He's got no one around him. He can concentrate on his line. And so he could put a good couple of laps to get the undercut in, because O'Brien's gone on for another lap. He has to pit next time round.
Yeah, he's going to have to. The time is going to be ticking down.
Blackmore's
Gary and
in.
Blackmore, they could possibly do one more lap as well, but Blackmore's in, like Phil's just said. Gary's going to continue on that extra lap. That could be absolutely key around this circuit. And so let's see what happens to Blackmore in terms of him and Ledger. He was a bit behind Ledger, but well in front of this fight of Matt Wright and Dan Davis at the moment. Dan looking to try and get past Matt Wright in towards a hairpin. Nothing happens there. So there's Ledger on his own. Cloudon's pulling away from Paolo, who's got McGowan ahead of Vienna. Then it's back to Matt Wright and Dan Davis. Look, you see Dan just looking to that outside line, maybe to try and have a look and get an exit, but can't do so. And now down towards the chicane, they all filter through again. Dan has got Skunky behind him. Dan's not going to want to let Skunky through here either.
Nope. Now this is where Dan's hyperdrive comes in. As soon as he goes into 6th, he'll probably be at 4th, 5th now, maybe.
Well, this is looking back from Matt Wright. Look at the closing speed there of the Lexus. Kieran O'Reilly, you're correct. The Lexus does look rapid round here. Look at the speed of the Lexus gaining on the straights. Dan pulls out to the inside as they all jump Edward Blackmore then. That's not going to bode well for Gary Leach. And Dan gets through on Matt Wright. He's ran a little deep through turn 1. That's going to allow Matt Wright back round the outside of turn 3. Is this now going to be what they did to Overtaker earlier? Right, trying up the inside. They've got Skunky just with them as well. Dan's trying to hold it strong around the outside. Matt Wright's still going to have the inside line for turn 4. Pedro's getting past out of Paolo just further up the road. Harris is now up the inside of Skunky. So the 2 championship protagonists are under attack here. Dan will surely have that inside line on Matt Wright into turn 5. This could open the door as well for Skunky to get through. No, it can't. Wright still holding it there though. Has Dan got that move done now? Not quite yet, because Wright is still on the outside line. And Matt Wright, is he going to try what Overtaker couldn't? He does. Doesn't end up as bad as Overtaker, but loses out to Dan. And now he's under pressure from Skunky.
Yeah, what a battle between these 4. 4, 5?
Oh, Overtaker's into Blackmore. He's around, and Harris as well went off into the gravel. I'm not sure there if that was Harris and Overtaker maybe making a bit of contact at the start.
Maybe, well, stop as well. He's
Yes.
only just stopped the car.
Gary and O'Brien are in. Here comes Patrick Ledger coming down the start straight. My strategy of forfeiting the turn off of repairs worked terribly last night, says Rob Spiff in the chat. Patrick Ledger, by the way, sprint race winner last week. He's through and in the lead of the race this week. Here comes Jamal Clouden. Rasmussen is the lap car in front. McGowan maybe for Gary. No, what about Paolo for Gary Leach? Gary's now off the limiter. Gets back going. And, well, Blackmore's stop must have been longer than Gary's PN because Blackmore was ended up behind the fight of Dan and everybody. And Gary's through. Where's Dan Davis, though? He's tumbled down the order behind Blackmore.
He's now gone back in front of Blackmore, but he's
So is
behind
Skunky.
Mike. Have they come together when we jumped away? They looked at the pit stops.
Interesting. Fraser has pitted. Fraser pitting, says Ian Best. Fraser pitted earlier in this race. Fraser O'Brien. No, he's just came out of the pits, hasn't he? He's now behind Patrick Ledger. So what has happened to Skunky and Dan Davis here? That's going to be the interesting one to keep our eyes on. Fraser O'Brien, then, the old Porsche Cup GB driver, trying to catch Patrick Ledger, one-time race winner here at SimPlay Motorsport. Clouden's up to the podium spots now, though, Phil. What a drive from the Mercedes driver.
Yeah, you know I want to go through all my old programs now from SNET.
Yeah, well, why not? Why not?
Well, while you still get them, literally,
Yeah, exactly.
you can only get them for Tourman cars and British GT now. Everything else is a PDF. It's like, what's the fun in that?
Pedro Vienna's P5 with Paolo 6th, Gary Leach is 7th, Matt Wright from Michael Harris, then it's Mike Matthews ahead of Dan Davis, then Blackmore with Skunky looking around the outside of him. Then it's Ben, Overtaker and Rasmussen, who's obviously a lap down after, we think, a wheel disconnection for Rasmussen. Very uncharacteristic on how the car just went straight on so quickly. Harris putting pressure on Matt Wright here.
He is, and of course now, even with that probably a little bit of damage he got from the collision with, well, at least a polystyrene barrier, you know, the turn markers they have. Yep. And here comes the hyperdrive.
Down the start straight then, the Lexus of Michael Harris pulls out now on that of Matt Wright, and he's going to look up the inside in towards turn 1. And Michael Harris gets it stopped, manages to still go side by side. The bonus is if you're up that inside of 1, you can carry it through the outside of 2, and you're going to have that better line through turn 3.
Yeah, and then you've got turn... But then it switches for turn 4, so...
Yeah, it kind of 180s itself, doesn't it? And then all of a sudden you become on the back foot. But Harris at the moment has got himself fully ahead. Skunky's past Blackmore now. So Mike Matthews ahead of Dan Davis. Just wondering if the SimPlay Racing boys are going to be given the call to maybe switch drivers around here for that championship standings. Dan isn't exactly close at the minute, is he?
No, he's 2.5 off the back of Mike. And Mike's catching right. Really, that's less than a second.
Yeah, that's going to be the problem for Dan Davis. Matt Wright is here. Look, and if we look on the rear wing of Matt Wright, there he is. There is Mike Matthews, just on the back of him, coming through this section of the circuit. On board with Matt Wright, there you see. Down the back straight, you see Harris just further up the road a little bit. Harris, by the way, already gaining on the back of Gary Leach in this one. This is going to be an interesting one to see. This is looking back from Gary Leach's Porsche on that Lexus. Let's see what happens down the start straight between these two. The gap out front is half a second, by the way. That's extended to 8 tenths. But back to Gary Leach. Let's take a look.
Oh, that's Rasmussen getting that well out of the way.
Well out the way. Like O'Reilly says, pro race is brutal. One mistake and that is your race done. And now look at the Porsche, one of the slower cars in a straight line. Here comes Harris, the lethal Lexus down the start line, pulls out, goes up the inside. Gary Leach can do nothing about it. He's passed him before they turn into the corner.
Yeah, and managed to take the race online with the overspeed of the Lexus.
So
it's
Gary,
like a DRS open.
It is, isn't it? That Lexus is like pressing a DRS button. Gary drops down to P8 now in this race. Mike Matthews hasn't gained on Matt Wright, but Dan has gained on Mike Matthews. So you're just wondering, is that call going to come? Ben is gaining on the back of Edward Blackmore. They are for 13th and 14th place and further down the order. But O'Brien at the minute just gaining a little bit through sector 1 and has managed to pull a 10th back on the race leader.
Yeah. Oh, he's just held off on Wright, Gary did. In theory, we might get one more.
Yeah. Ooh, this is going to be pretty close.
It's got to be close, and they can't back off either.
There we go. Is that the call, by the way, from the SimPlay boys? No, Dan's gone wide into the gravel. He's not going to need that. He's racing his teammate pretty hard, and Dan ran wide into the gravel trap. Now he's going to have a look up the inside. Is Mike going to oblige this time? No, he's not. So SimPlay Racing having their own little battle on the track. Now Dan's got to deal with Skunky. We come around the final bend. There will be one more lap. That is pretty close, Phil. At 7 seconds as he crosses the line there. So that was pretty close, but now Mike and Dan having a fight. All of a sudden, Skunky's back on Dan. He's had a bit of a slide coming into the final couple of corners. Manages to keep it all together.
Yeah, and Rasmussen's sort of like staying out of the way behind him again. But what could have been for Rasmussen this race?
Yeah, it could have been his first race win if his. We do believe it was a wheel disconnection. Here
or
comes
at least
Dan.
A pedal.
Yeah, something went there because it sped up and just didn't turn. Dan's now going to look up at the inside of Mike, the overspeed of the Lexus. Dan went a little deep at turn 1 last time. I think he's got it right this time. Not perfect, but good enough to manage to get ahead of Mike and stay in front. And that's now Mike's job, is surely to not let Skunky through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because at the moment, fastest lap's gone to O'Brien.
Yeah, he's drove well in this race so far. He's not going to get this race win, though. It doesn't look like. Patrick Ledger on for his second race win in 2 weeks. And Dan will be saying to Mike, you keep him behind you as much as you can, because that is his closest rival now O'Reilly's not here. Mike getting very close to the rear of Dan. Could you imagine if there was contact made there?
Oh,
I would not like to be in that party chat, although I'd love to be a fly on the wall in it.
It'd be Mercedes 2016 all over again, wouldn't it? At Catalunya.
Before Dan wants to say it, it'd be like Matt Neal and Gordon Shedden at Alton Park.
Or any team, Webber and Vettel at Istanbul.
Harris is going past Paolo, up the inside into the hairpin. Here comes Harris, up the inside. That's a great move, but back to the race leaders now. Patrick Ledger comes through the final corner, and I tell you what, he won the first race last week. What a popular race win this is going to be again. It's a race win for Patrick Ledger. Fraser O'Brien, in only his second week of racing, will take a P2. Jamal Cloudin, that's a great podium for him. He hasn't had a great season so far, but he's on the podium here in the Mercedes. Great job for him. Ian McGowan, who wasn't sure if he was going to be racing earlier, eating his onion rings, P4. Pedro Biena, P5. Michael Harris will get P6 from Paolo. Gary Leach hangs on in there freight from Matt Wright, Dan Davis, Mike Matthews from Skunky. Ed Blackmore coming to the line. Rasmussen finished P16. Then it is Ben, and then Overtaker. We are still to await at the moment. What's Ben doing?
He's not crossed the line yet. Yes, he has. He just turned into the wall.
Oh, Overtaker's got huge damage here. That car...
That looks, on a pad as well.
Yeah, that looks pretty undrivable. You're just seeing how that wants to go right, and he just wants to go left. Look at how difficult that looks.
Yeah, and on the pad as well. You can't hold it because you're on the thumbstick.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know.
So sadly for Overtaker down in 50th place, he's going to have that qualifying ban coming up in that second race. We'll go for a quick break though, and race 2 will be right around the corner. We're clear.
Tell you what, are you going to get a Murray Walker style, Mike? You know, with the lip bit.
I might have to, mate. That's how I'm having to hold this at the minute because my arm's broke, so I'm having to literally hold that hold it like that, but not right up to my lip. Because if I'm holding it up to my lip, you get that kind of sound.
Yeah, well, yeah, you normally he had a flat bit on the top, didn't it?
Yeah,
so that's, and then the pop filter.
That's kind of where I'm having to hold my mic at the minute. Is there? So I'd love a fucking Murray Walker style mic. That'd be brilliant.
And you've got to stand up and do it as well because
I'm looking to get one of them levitated desks that moves up and down because I prefer to stand a bit.
I would love to have a model railway on one of those so there it goes. Railway go up, railway come down.
Skunky, where did he finish? 12th. Diz not racing. Blackmore was 13th. Matt Wright was 9th.
Drink. I've got a bit of a furry throat.
Yeah, no worries, dude. No Cosme, no Giggle. Giggle's not racing the rest of the season.
Oh,
Work's changed on him for the Christmas period.
Yeah.
And then the one day he's off is his birthday, but he's out for his birthday, so...
Obviously. I can't do that no more.
Second, Alex, so... Make them ones black. That one black, so I'm not putting these in for race 2. That one black. black. M2 black.
Have we lost someone?
I
We're
don't know
down to
why.
15 again.
Yes, then.
Rasmussen. He might be going to go reset his rear
Possibly,
wheel.
yeah, possibly. Problem there.
I reckon that looked like a wheel failure.
Massively. It sped up and just didn't turn.
Wheel or pedal. Especially if shit gets
He's
in near
back.
the sensor.
He's back. Right. 2 seconds and we'll find out to score.
Oh, Skunky in Discord. Dude, I can't apologise enough.
Hit Dan.
He hit Dan.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Harris. Ooh.
Edward Blackmore. Gary, next time you push me off track at T1, I won't move and we will have a crash. Back in 2 secs.
Yeah.
We'll see what's happening.
Yeah, Gary. The next
steering
time.
scale was still 100.
Have you seen
try
Discord, Gary?
No, but
I've read it through.
I'm just gonna. What did he say? What lap it was?
No.
I'm guessing it was the first corner.
Right, let me have a look.
It just
I
said
was in the
at
middle of
turn
a
one.
sandwich for a start.
Naughty boy.
I got
Turning in on
fucking-
Skunky.
I got rear-ended by Dan. by Ben, sorry, not Dan.
Yeah, and then you fucking forced Dan into the gravel. I saw that.
No, I'll give him a car's width there. I knew he was there.
One, isn't he?
He's the purple and white McLaren. Skunky hit you, Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he waited.
That's one, Mike. Taker.
I'll send this
When
on to
you
you, Matt. See
when
what
you
you
hit
think.
Taker, he hit Harris.
He was wiggling, yes.
Yeah.
So something happened with them. I
Yeah.
don't know what if Harris wiggled and then he hit him because he was obviously that had to slow Harris down.
Yeah.
But then he bounced a bit. I couldn't go right.
He
'cause I
bounced
had-
into Blackmore, didn't he? And as he's hit Blackmore, you've then.
Yeah. I couldn't go either side because I didn't know there was a car to my right and there was him and I was hoping he'd have cleared, but I hit my brakes and I hit his rear.
Man, that was hard.
Yeah, it looked difficult to get through the traffic.
Right, there you go, Matt. What is wrong with this? I think it's absolutely legendary. Unlike the one Tuesday night.
You said that Tuesday night though until you watched your replay back.
Yeah, but I have actually watched it this time.
When it comes through.
Yeah, Ben hit me, he waited. I'm not too harsh. It is what it is.
I just think I got that's at the chicane.
Yeah, it was.
I just think
I-
that looked
I
like it got congested, dude. And he
I
just
said the same. Every time I hit the brakes, I'm like, fucking hell, I was right
The
up.
problem
because
was though. The problem is though, Matt. We're all so close on
Close,
pace.
yeah.
Trying to I spent ages just trying to clear Overtaker. He made one mistake, and then
Yeah.
I prized the door open, and then everyone mugged him at that point. And then it was the same with Matt. As
Same
soon
with
as he
Matt Wright,
come
yeah.
back on track, he got mugged, and then as soon as you make one mistake, the pack just swarm on
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
yeah.
Anything wrong with that?
It's just come through, dude.
I don't really know what I meant to do there.
Oh, is this a 3-wide with Paolo at the start?
Yeah. What's
Oh,
wrong
I
with
thought
that?
it was cracking. To be fair, we caught it on stream.
Yeah, so did I.
Oh, well, if he puts it in, you've got the footage now, Gary. Well done.
I'm not being funny, but if he says that, what you meant to do? Go more right? Fucking Paolo's
Can't
there.
go more right.
Oh,
That's what I mean.
brilliant. Have you
He
seen
can
Matt?
go more left.
Have you seen Matt Wright's comment?
Sorry if I was heavy on the brakes around the first right-hander. Skunky came near me and it scared the shit out of me. That was a good race. I enjoyed that one, to be fair. Let me see. It took about a minute and a half, and he mentioned the chicane. Dan?
I'm live, by the way. We're all live.
Yeah, that's fine. We don't give a shit. Right, 4.5 minutes left. I'm going to go back in comms box, get ready, and then go for a week. So, best luck race 2, boys.
Yeah.
Here's
Yeah.
the...
True that.
Edward on the podium. Question is, what's the football score?
1-0 down, mate.
Who is? St. Vincent?
Jamal's coming.
Jamal, sort them out.
But But
Jimmy.
go onto YouTube and watch the fucking celebration.
Good.
If I get a podium, I'm gonna do the celebration.
Oh my God. I'll watch it back after the race. Well done, Jamal. Very well done there. Good race.
Thank you.
Look
I
very
was starting to
fucking clean.
struggle a little bit, but yeah, man.
Oh, I enjoyed
I'm
that.
happy.
That was good, mate.
P1 had fucked off though, didn't he?
Oh, them
P1
top-
and P2.
Poor Rasmussen would have been
P2.
P3 if he didn't have what looked to be a disconnection on his wheel.
Yeah. P2, he was kind of reeling him in, Clouden, to be fair. I was watching the times. It was only small, like, reeling him, but yeah.
Was I?
Yeah. It was only little tiny, like, fucking 0.1 of a second every fucking few laps it was. But yeah, you was closing him in.
Say no more.
Mercedes looks alright round here.
No, it did. It does.
That's the best it's looked all season in your hands, Jamal, if I'm going to be honest.
That and Monza.
Obviously, having a smaller grid, it's easier to see your performance compared to John's performance.
Yeah.
The car felt good for me last night. It was just a shame that I had a little bit of fucking damage on it. I had like 11 seconds worth of damage, which kind of hindered it a little bit, but...
Yeah, I've got no damage in that race whatsoever.
But yeah, race 2, Matt.
Yeah.
I went down to P25, done my pit strat. I ended up getting P11 by the end of the race.
Yeah,
so
England are winning. Nobody cares. It's all about that game down the bottom. Oh, St. Vincent are winning.
yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, I thought you said they were losing. I thought you said
No.
Cladden's team were losing.
No.
SPA scored, set up by S. Adams. No, Jamal's was involved in the goal.
Gotta watch the celebration though, mate. It's
We need
fucking
number
funny.
20. Tell me if Barnum Bob comes in there. Fucking Barnum Bob, number 21. If he comes on.
Go see Prototype's message.
Fuck's sake.
What's he put?
Insane, man.
He was on about the celebration, you'll see.
I'll have to text it or something. I can't. If I go on your stream, we'll pick up all these other voices. Right.
Oh,
Yeah. Message me the diggy. I'm going to go back into the comms box and then I'm going to throw away.
Have fun.
No worries.
Cheers, please.
Laters.
England are fucking winning. God.
Football. Ugh.
It's all right though, because St. Vincent and the Grenadines are playing Montserrat. That's where Clouden's family's from. St. Vincent, and they're winning. Yeah.
Right, just confirmed with Benny. I'm starting on Saturday.
Okay, no worries. I'm just going to run to the toilet quickly, dude.
Yeah. You mean you haven't been yet? think it's the first one on track.
Yeah, I've picked him up, dude.
Just watching what somebody's doing.
Right, okay. 5, 4. Welcome back then, ladies and gentlemen, to SimPlay Motorsport here for the first qualifying of the evening. Getting ready then for race 2. We're on board with Ben for a qualifying lap here. Here's the first man out on circuit. Will be the first man set his qualifying lap time. 3 manufacturers can now only win that manufacturers championship at this stage of the season, and that is Ferrari, who lead from Ginetta, who lead from BMW. What a story that is, that Ginetta are still in the hunt. Looks like it's probably going to go the way of Ferrari though in that one. Nissan are now outscoring Bentley due to Michael. I've done it again, due to Michael outscoring the one race that Graham has done, and isn't far behind that Honda either. But your Drivers' Championship at the moment looks like this. Dan Davis is leading the way on 461 points, 92 clear of O'Reilly, 95 clear of Skunky, with Michael Harris, that is correct, P4 at the moment. Ian McGowan is up into 5th with Matt Wright in 6th. Jamal Clowder moves up to 7th with Michael Eccles in 8th. Overtaker is in P9. Excuse me. Mike Matthews is up into 10th with Pedro Viana 11th. Emmanuel Machado down to 12th. Ben is up to 13th. Max Mulder up to 14th. Max Mulder down to 14th. Gary Leach up to 15th. With Paolo Sebastian Wittrup, Patrick Lager, who's got another race win, moving up to 18th. Darren Yo's down in 19th place. Blackmore 20th. Sky Schundelmeyer's 21st with Tim Ventic 22nd. Then it's Diz Rasmussen. Daniel, as we've had to lose Giggle for the rest of the season, he is work purposes due to around the Christmas period. Then it's Cosme, O'Brien, Beasley, Alex and Verkrashen down in last. Your Constructors' Championship looks a little like this. SimPlay Racing lead 40 points clear of the Red Line Junkies. That has been cut shorter a little bit by the fact that McGowan finished ahead of both drivers and helped out massively. The Naval Racing team are in 3rd with Team SPR catching them. Obviously down to the one driver tonight, we know Darren Yo. Fat Blokes Bandits from Team FPR. BSP Racing ahead of BSP Esports with Dan Seb, Xbox Industries, and then the Greasy Bandits Racing. Ben comes to line to set the first flying lap of the session, and doesn't. That goes the way of Skunky. So we've just watched Ben there doing invalid lap time, but Skunky's the man then who has put it on provisional pole at the moment. Let's pick up the 34 coming around the final parts of this lap. That is the Lexus and Michael Harris. Behind him is the 454 then, that of Julius Rasmussen. Harris there didn't set a lap time. He did actually, so he went second. Rasmussen up into P6. The 11 is coming to line now. That is Mike Matthews. He goes up into P3. Dan Davis not yet to the line. That is Pedro Viana. Then it will be Dan Davis. Here comes Pedro to the line. No lap time from him. What about Dan Davis? What can he set here before the 81 sets a lap time of Ben? Dan Davis goes third in the standings at the moment. Here comes Paolo. He comes to the line and also does not set a lap time. Next up is Gary Leach to the line. Obviously overtaker Phil on that qualifying one.
Yep, yeah. Got a long time observing for that qualifying ban because he hadn't unfortunately made the last 2 weeks. Has it been 2 weeks or maybe 3?
No, I think it was just last week that he'd not made. I think he picked the ban up, didn't he, the week before Snetterton?
Yeah, it's been a while. So, and I've lost my train of thought again. God, I'm good at this. Here comes Gary Leach to the line though. What does he go? He goes up to P11. Yeah,
P11. A few changes probably made on Gary Leach's car. The number, I don't know what number that is. I can't quite see. It's the 140 now. That is Ben, who's emerged just in front of the 302.
You look like he might be valid now because his dot's not gone blue.
So let's keep an eye and see what Ben can do then through this next part of the lap. Round the final corner he comes, and down towards the start line he goes, puts it up into P6. What about the 47? That is Fraser O'Brien. Second place in race 1. He'll be looking for another good result here before the 28 of Blackmore. O'Brien to the line, moves up into P4. Blackmore now to the line. He doesn't improve. What about, it's not Skunky, it was McGowan down in 12th place to the line. He comes, he moves up into 8th then. We're going to wait for Mike Matthews. Harris has gone fastest by a tenth of a second second from Skunky. Here comes Mike Matthews down to the line. What is he going to set? Will he improve? He goes up into P3. Good lap from him. The 46 of Pedro Viana on a valid lap time. It looks like Dan is not on a valid lap as Viana goes up into 13th. We go back to the 81 of Paolo.
He crosses the line now and goes up to P7.
Yeah, heck of a lap time there. Gary Leach is sat in a good position here. I mean, all the cars on track have got a decent gap in front of him, but Gary Leach, no one to worry about at all.
No, and Gary's just invalidated, throwing wide up a hairpin, which they also don't use in Formula 1 now. Or major car championships. They just love when circuits change, because it does happen.
Yeah, I mean, at times, I look at Albert Park, I don't think that's changed for the better at all. I think that track's become worse since. There's obviously Gary invalidated. Is
this
that
one's
Ben now?
changed for the better.
Oh, Ben! Huge slide. He's bailed that lap. He had a huge slide coming through the right-hander. He's dropped back into the pit lane. Here comes Skunky now. Needs just under a tenth off. Not seen Chris in the chat yet. Good evening to Mathix87. Let's go Fraser O'Brien and Matt Wright. Legends, he says in the chat, as well as Benedict Varga. I think we should rebrand as Team Boatley or something like that for the next endurance season.
Good for Bentley. But we
Skunky goes pole. 2.5 tenths of a second. Skunky goes provisional pole. Jamal Crowden now moves up into P3 in the session. Who's the 28? That is Edward Blackmore. To the line they come. Goes P at 11. Just behind him is the 664. That is Ian McGowan to the line. Oh, he goes P3. Game on. Julius Rasmussen, if you ask me, Redline Junkies, SimPlay Racing, as Rasmussen goes 6. What a constructors fight we've got on our hands, Phil.
Yeah, between two Ferraris and a Ferrari and a Lexus. Confused? Yes.
Here comes Pedro Viana to the line, improves but stays P14. Dan Davis will be next up to the line. What's he going to do? 7 tenths! Yes, gets it by 400ths of a second. Paolo next up to the line. He improves but stays in P10. Next car on a valid lap is that of the 302. And that is Skunky once again. Dan Davis here just managing to eke out a bit of time there and put it on provisional pole.
Yeah, but that's no gap at all, really, is it?
No, that's running a little deep. It's running a little too much on the brakes, not getting the throttle down enough, or early enough,
should I say? In a gravel
it's so easy for Skunky to find that amount of time. That's not comfortable for Dan.
No, that's not comfortable yet. I mean, you took go over the wrong side of that yellow curb, but Skunky's gone through. Yeah, that's gone then. That's an invalid lap. It's that easy.
Oh, and there you go. Look, Skunky just drops a wheel into the gravel at the final part of this lap.
As he comes round the final corner, he's wide then. He was all four wheels under AstroTurf from the helicopter cam. Does he do
Well,
anything?
he doesn't improve, no, so it's obviously invalidated his lap at some point. The 47 of Fraser O'Brien down in 9th place. He's coming to the line. It's only 8 tenths of a second. He goes up into 5th place. The next car to line is the 998 of Patrick Ledger. He's 7 tenths off the pole. He won in race 1. He now moves up into 5th place. Next car is the 46 of Pedro Viana. So drivers improving here, Phil.
Yeah, but look how close the times are again. It's just Prova's so close.
Yeah, it's incredibly close.
No improvement for Vienna. What about Dan? He's the car behind him.
No, Dan doesn't improve. Stays where he is. Pedro to the line. Paolo to the line. He goes into 7th place. 34th. The next one on the lap. That's Harris, and then it's Gary Leach just behind.
Harris looks very loose. That car looks really loose coming through. Yeah, he's backed out of the car. I think he was getting on close to the back of Rasmussen. Oh, where's Gary? Gary's right at the back, isn't he? Here comes Leach.
Well, this is Harris here. Let's see what he can do. No improvement. Gary, 1.9 down.
1.7 down.
Yeah, not the improvement I think Gary's going to have wanted in that Porsche. I don't think we're going to see Gary in the Porsche next season.
No, I don't. I think he's finally going to have to tear himself away from the Porsche. After how many seasons?
Yeah, plenty of seasons. And he's bearing in mind 2-time champion in the Porsche, back on Project Cars 2. But here comes Skunky to the line now. Doesn't find that little bit of time he needed. 47. That is Fraser O'Brien who is coming to the line. What is he going to do in this lap? Puts himself P3 within a tenth. That is a fantastic lap at the moment. Next up is the 46 of Pedro Vienna, and Dan Davis not far away.
No. Oh, Dan clunked the curb behind him.
Yeah, he's bailed. He's bailed. Here comes Pedro. Round the final corner now. What's he going to get from this? It's going to be absolutely crucial to see if Pedro can move up the order. 1.5 off it. Finds time, but just not enough there. Stays down in 14th place.
Well, again, you can find enough time, and just jump up about 10 positions.
Yeah. Well, if he finds 0.3 of a second, he's up one. All of a sudden, if he finds half a second, 6/10, he's up to mid-pack.
If he finds a second, he's got to be P4. P4, P5, isn't he?
Yeah. So it's absolutely crucial around here to see what these guys can do. Here comes Matt Wright. He moves up to 7th place, finds a handful of places. Michael Harris is next. Needs 0.3 of a second. What's he going to get out of this? Finds nothing this time around. Mike Matthews next on a lap.
Where is Mike? 10th at the moment. I mean, them curbs are horrible as well. You hit them wrong and that's it. There's no Bentleys here because the Bentley love curbs.
Well, Mike Matthews stays P10. It's next up for the 302. That is Skunky. Does he find that little bit of time? No, he still finds nothing in his lap at the moment. Has he just not got it in the tank? Patrick Ledger next.
Or is that 400ths of a second just the straight line speed of the Lexus?
Yeah, potentially so. Potentially so.
Is it just the Lexus down the straights?
Well, I suppose we'll find out in a moment then as Patrick Ledger goes P6, 46 back up. That's Vienna. He had good race pace in that first race. I'm surprised to see him struggling as much as he is in qualifying.
Or maybe you rather race instead of qualifying.
Yeah, true.
I know what I'd rather do.
When it comes to the line, doesn't improve that time around. The 36 of Clouden now. Good race one for him, down in 9th place at the minute.
Yeah, it's a good race. It'll be buoyed confidence by that podium.
He will
and plus with the race win in GT4s as well.
Yeah.
So that really helps the confidence.
Full of confidence this week, hasn't he? Is Clouden been to the line? He comes now. Moves up one spot within half a second. Goes P8, the 135. That is Matt Wright to the line. He stays P7. The 34 of Michael Harris is now coming up to the line. Needs 0.3 of a second. What does he find? Nothing this time round. Gary Leach crosses the line. He was on an invalid lap. We then turn back to Mike Matthews, who was having a good race until he got caught up in an incident.
He was, yeah, and then he got overtaken by Dan in race one as well.
But
Mike's season's starting to come around,
yeah, he seems to be starting to gel again with that Ferrari, doesn't he? Had a good Snetterton bar his own mistake in race 2. And a decent start to Catalonia. It does seem like he's turning around. McGowan moves up to 4th now. 4 cars separated by just under a 10th and a half. Next car on a valid lap is Vienna. We'll see Paolo to the line. Ledger's next up, but it's Vienna who's on a valid lap.
Plus with 16 cars, it's easier to see everyone.
It's just a bit more of a gap. Yeah, exactly. Just a bit more of a gap to see everybody.
I like when we got a full grid of 30. It's like, oh, who do you watch? Who do you show? Because there's so many drivers.
There's only 15 in qualifying at the moment. Here comes Vienna. We'll get one more lap. No improvement there. Dan Davis is also going to get one more lap in.
With 10 seconds on the clock.
Clouden's on an invalid lap, it says. So he's done. Because he is not going to be able to start another lap. Gary's done. Ben's done. There's a few cars in the pits. Clouden pulls into pit lane. So the next car is the 135 of Matt Wright. What can Matt Wright do here? Rounds the final corner. Down the start straight he comes now. Matt Wright to the line. Improves but stays 7th place. The 454. That is N. Rasmussen. 7/10 off the pole. Does not improve. The 34 of Harris is invalidated. We turn our attention to Mike Matthews.
Oh, here come Mike round the final chicane. Just kissing the curb, and not the yellow one there, though.
Here comes Mike then, round the final corner, down the start straight, pulls that inside line. I think he's bailed, he's hit the brakes before.
Bailed.
So, yeah. Mike was just teasing us there till the very end.
Paolo's bailed, so it's just McGowan and Dan.
And Ledger.
Not McGowan. Dan's invalidated.
So Dan's invalidated. Ledger to the line. Unless Ledger's going to take 0.4 of a second, it will be a 7th pole position, which means Dan has taken pole in every race, bar Kyle Army. And Ledger's now done. So Dan Davis will take yet another pole position, and he has taken every pole apart from Kyle Army. That pole went the way of Skunky. So hats off to Dan Davis this season in qualifying. He has been a cut above the rest in it.
He has, and it's just the whole of Pro. It's just the whole of Pro has been fantastic.
And you know what? That's testament to Dan as well, Phil, because with how close Pro has been this season, for Dan to take every pole bar one is such a testament to him.
Yeah, and it's just shown that he's having to raise his level to compete.
And I think this is what makes drivers better drivers, isn't it? I'm sure Dan will be the first one to tell you, that because of the level that he's having to race at now, he's had to up his game to this level.
Yeah, it's the same with any motorsport. If you've got that upper echelon of driver, like your Schumachers, like your Hamiltons, like your Rossies and MotoGP at the time, that forces you to get better.
Yeah.
Because you're chasing them, and when you finally beat them, or your career wanes and you
cut out the mistakes and nail each corner and really perfect everything. And really, as well, testament to the Bop. Let's not forget the Bop this season. That Dan would not. I don't think Dan would be doing this in a Lexus without the Bop.
No, he'd probably still be in the Lambo, if anything. I reckon he'd stayed in the Lamborghini, wouldn't he?
I reckon the test for Dan, possibly. Gary's not got the best out of the Porsche. We've not seen Sky have his best season in the Porsche. Dan's a Porsche fan. Do we think that the Porsche looks a handful? Do we think the Porsche is going to be more of a test for Dan than something like the Lexus if Dan was to stick around in next season?
Yeah, and well, all the other challenges. Can you win Pro in the 650S for McLaren? the old McLaren.
He's done it before, but that was on a game where Project Cars 2 was a little different.
Yeah, but or Ferretia, the worst car in the game.
Hey, if Dan came and went, right, I'm going Jag, Retia or McLaren 650S, maybe even the old Audi, the Aston V12, the old Honda,
or the old Bentley.
Just any of the old cars from GT World Challenge 2018-19. Hey, there's a challenge for Dan for next season. That's if Dan does Pro. Obviously, Dan and myself end up discussing who's racing what next season. Obviously, myself would be on the Pro grid. Probably not doing as good a job as Dan, but obviously Dan might do the side series and I might be back on Pro. That's just the way it works. Obviously, with the lack of commentators on the channel, if you do want to get involved on the channel, there is a job application page. If you want your hand at commentary or stewarding or whatever it may be, make sure you fill out that and let us know. Also, if it's going to be tough, isn't it, to see next season? We'll be in that season where kind of the opposite to this. It'll start really cold, possibly wet and windy, moving into warmer, into that springtime.
Well, yeah, because we start again, mid-February roughly?
Probably mid-Jan. It just depends.
5 or 6 week break over Christmas, so maybe end of Jan, roughly.
Yeah.
No British tracks.
Hey, wait and see. Put it this way. Obviously, me and Dan mentioned last night, that as part of the Patreon bonus. By the way, if you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and don't forget to hit the bell to be notified. We want to get to as close to 1,000 subscribers as possible. Make sure you check out our fantastic sponsors in the description below. Dan Manchester, producers of vinyl graphics, laser engraved gifts, mugs, printed clothing and much more, including SimPlay Motorsport merchandise. Link to their Facebook page is in the description. And Audiosport, manufacturer of VW Transporter T4 audio solutions and styling products. Head over to www.audiosport.com. Also Facebook link in the description. If you want to be a part, join the Discord, whether that's racing or whatever it may be. Join the SimGrid as well. Sign-ups will be changing to the SimGrid next season. But Phil, you know, British circuits, me and Dan spoke about last night, as a part of the Patreon pledge, you know, one of your bonuses is you get to pick a track that's going to be on the calendar. Obviously, yourself and Machado picked Misano and Snetterton. The admins picked a circuit each, in which we had Bathurst, Donington, Alton Park and Suzuka.
I won't be picking Snetterton again, because I don't think you should
I'm
pick the same
I'm not
circle.
picking Donington again. I already know what I'm picking. You know, obviously we get Robert Ramsell's going to be picking a circuit this season, so that's 4, 5, 6, 7 of the circuits out of 12 that are going to be picked by a driver. The wheel and aim will pick the final few.
Yeah, and not the Nordschleife, because the 20-minute race we have
there's no Nordschleife for the regular GT3s. That'll be considered for the Endurance Championship, depending on what happens in the admin meeting and things to come. Though we are coming down the start straight, and it is green and go here for round 14 of the season. It looks a pretty equal start between the two championship protagonists here, Dan Davis and Skunky. Coming down the start straight, it is 4 wide at the back. We overtake of Vienna Blackmore and Gary Leach, really going hammer and tongue. Here comes Harris up the inside of Matt Wright. Has to go onto the marbles a little bit. Dan manages to keep in front of this, and everybody at the back. Overtaker got ahead of the 3, so great start, Overtaker.
Yeah, Mike's went a little bit backwards. He's the car in front of Overtaker.
I don't know if Mike's gone backwards, only with 16 cars, or Overtaker went forwards there, because Mike qualified 10th, and Mike's running 11th, so he only lost 1 spot. Has a slide there, does Mike. Gary once again trying to thread the needle, playing ping pong off of Vienna and Ben's car there, and Mike and Paolo going hammer and tongue while Overtaker waits in the background. Gary's going to try and tuck up underneath. Oh, nearly taps the rear of Overtaker there, but manages to get ahead of Ben and Pedro Vienna there. Then we're watching Mike Matthews trying to come through at the moment on that of Paolo, and he wants to get up that order as quick as he possibly can. Michael Harris also on the move, looking on McGowan.
Yeah, Gary's front splitter must have been rubbing the rear diffuser of Overtaker's Ford.
Skunky's looking to the outside of Dan Davis in towards the hairpin as Harris is looking around the outside of McGowan. Skunky over the yellow sausage curbs, comes back on. Dan takes back that position. Fraser O'Brien's having a look. McGowan still ahead of Jamal Cloudham. Mike got ahead of Paolo at the hairpin, so Mike's moved up another spot.
Yeah, Mike must have had a bit of a slower getaway, or Overtaker just had a demon start. I
think Overtaker had a demon start, to be fair. I think he's had a really good one.
Yeah, and look at that, ladies and gentlemen, and sentient balls alike. That was a clean lap 1.
It was a very clean lap 1, Paul. It would be great to have you in the comms box, even if it's just a one-off. Ben, we'd love to also have you back in the comms box as Overtaker's looking up the inside of Paolo in towards turn 1. Mustang late on the brakes, up the inside. Thank you, Mama, for the carrots. Job done. I paused because Paolo looked like he was coming back at him.
I've lost my train of thought again. I was just thinking, for some reason I'm thinking about I fancy a mince pie.
Okay.
I'm hungry, okay.
Skunky, O'Brien, McGowan, Harris, Clouden, really close to the back of Dan.
But is Dan throwing the safest tyres, or
possibly so? That's going to be an interesting sort of strategy tonight, isn't it, around this race?
Yeah, because this is like one of the warmest races we've had all season. Oh, that looked a little larboy coming out of that corner. I don't know their names. So
no, I don't know the names. Here comes though Skunky to the outside of Dan. Dan doing a great job at the minute to just hold Skunky up a little bit down the order. Oh, there's chaos. Ledger's slow, Rasmussen slow. Matt Wright was wide. Mike Matthews has got past Rasmussen and Ledger. So has Overtaker there then. Gary Leach to the outside of Ben. Looks like Ben's going to hold on for that position. Good move from Ben there. Yep. Gary's not let this one go yet, though, to be fair.
They're still fighting.
That's great racing. That is great racing. Gary just turns in, gets a bit of a bump from Ben. Gary's now going to try and go around the outside of the final corner. Slots back in between him and Vienna. That's a great bit of racing there. We don't mind the little bump on the doors. That is fantastic stuff.
Yeah, this ain't Formula 1. Yeah, a little bit of rubbing's fine, because we're used to it in touring cars.
Indeed, but we are.
There was a lot of rubbing, sometimes, especially race 3s.
So back to the front. Dan from Skunky. They've broken away from O'Brien and McGowan a little bit. Harris has got past Clouden. Or has Clouden stayed behind Harris? Can't quite remember. But all clearly through at the minute, Phil. We're on to the second lap of the race. It's been a great race at the moment. And Mike attacking the back of Matt right now.
Yeah. I think there's more Clouden keeping with Harris, to be fair. And this sort of broke away. And then you've got another group of cars until Rasmussen.
I think I'm going to have to agree with you on the Clouden comment. Just down to Rasmussen. He's ahead of Paolo, who's got Ben now hassling him. Skunky's not letting Dan go here, is he? Skunky is right with him.
He's right with him, and at this point of the circuit, Skunky's stronger.
Yeah.
But Dan's got his elbows out.
Dan knows where to place that car at the minute, and he's doing exactly what he needs to do, isn't he? And that's the bonus for Dan right now.
Dan is driving the widest Lexus in the world.
Champions drive as well, to be fair.
Yeah. Yeah. This pack are definitely slowly breaking away from the next pack led by Wright.
Yeah. Indeed they are, and it's a great little battle this between Skunky and Dan. This is where Dan's able to stretch his legs just a little bit down this start straight. Then it's O'Brien, McGowan, Harris, Jamal Clouden. Big gap then back to Matt Wright with Mike and overtaker. Patrick Ledger, your race one winner. Then it's Rasmussen a little bit ahead of Paolo, Ben, Gary, Pedro and Blackmore down at the back of the pack, but 16 cars on the grid. A bit of a shorter grid tonight. Do you do any racing between championships, or do we go cold turkey? We sometimes put the odd fun event on, Rob Smith. It just purely depends on the sign-ups. We had a season where we had several fun events planned. The lack of sign-ups meant last season we decided to not do any. But there is a plan for an event on the 22nd of December, which is a Sunday, to do a Porsche Cup, Ferrari Challenge, Super Trofeo and BMW M2 race, 8 of each, first come, first serve in each car. To do a multi-class race, format unknown, track unknown at the moment. There's a bit of fun whether that's streamed or not, but there could be plans. If you'd like to see a fun event and we could guarantee the sign-ups, there could be one coming your way in that off-season. Obviously, dates are going to... The thing with the Christmas one is dates depend, because of Christmas and New Year. Dates depend on when the season starts and everything as to what we do. Obviously, the work we have to do in the background to get everything ready for the season, rule changes, admin meetings, get the sign-ups ready, get the server ready, get everything ready to go. This is why the endurance calendar will be released on the 1st of December, so that one will be ready to go with sign-ups before this season ends, so that for the endurance race, that will be good to go. But just watching Skunky and Dan there, Phil, Skunky's really putting Dan under pressure. I think the one thing that's saving Dan at the moment is this start straight.
Yep, the straight line, and McGowan's got where's
Fraser O'Brien's dropped down to 13th place. Yeah, so what has happened to him? He's behind Ben now. Let's just take a look at his car here. Looks okay. That is Gary and Pedro going side by side. Pedro Vienna up the inside of the Porsche. I think your mum preferred the carrots.
Yeah, his car looked okay. Has he ran wide somewhere?
I wonder if he's just had a moment. Yeah, had a moment somewhere. The problem, the pack this close, is that's going to happen.
Yeah, no, one little mistake and you just tumble down the order.
Indeed, you do. Right then.
You plumb up like a stone.
Here we go. Jamal Clouden trying to get on the back of Harris. Top two's broken away now that O'Brien's dropped down. McGowan is in third. Great, once again, for the Red Line Junkies.
Yeah, because Mike's... they're like right behind McGowan or in front of McGowan, is he? At this phase of the race.
7th isn't bad points. 7th will pick Mike up 30 points. Let's not forget that. But at the minute, that is 85 points for SimPlay Racing, 86 because of the fastest lap. Skunky and McGowan, though, they're going to be picking up 95, so that's another 9 points they've chipped away.
Yeah. 9 points, and what?
They're only 9 points.
Skunky's lost the rear!
He's lost the rear, all on his own. He's clipped the wall, and there goes Harris. There goes Jamal Clouden. Skunky may have just got on at the right point. Now ends up cutting the chicane, and he's managed to get back on just ahead of Clouden. Well, that's going to topple it. It was only 41 points in it.
Clouden sideways.
Still with a few races left to go. Overtaker here in that big grunty Ford Mustang cannot get close to the back of Mike Matthews.
No. That's probably down to the bot, though, isn't it? What's the
Yeah,
bot
possibly.
here?
So, also, just want to echo what Paul Williams says. There is also plenty of pre-season testing. The server will always be live. It changes each week. As well as, do look at FBR, who run alongside SimPlay. And we kind of work hand in hand with the FBR boys. They run events on a Sunday evening. At the minute, they're doing a Sunday shakedown, which runs alongside our championship. Overtaker, as I say that about Mike, he's got himself up the inside, looking into turn 4, and Overtaker, up the inside he goes a little deep. Mike's going to try and tuck back underneath him, but that's probably going to work out in the favour of Overtaker because the way of turn 5. Now Mike has a look up the inside, but Overtaker had already slammed the door firmly shut.
But Mike's on the outside. Who's got the bigger cojones going into the chicane? Mike or Taker?
Well, Taker tried it around the outside a couple of laps ago. That was in the first race. Didn't work. Mike's now lost out and has now got Ledger and Rasmussen side by side fighting behind him. So Overtaker goes through. So Skunky loses places. Mike loses a place. So that constructors fight, it's still interesting. As now McGowan's looking up the. In fact, Harris has got past McGowan.
He has.
It is a Lexus 1-2 at the moment.
Has McGowan put a wheel wrong?
Probably somewhere, but yes, Rob Smith, FBR on a Sunday evening, they follow us at the minute. They're doing a Sunday shakedown. It's 2 20-minute sprint races of what we run in the week. It's like a bit of testing at the moment, but they've just done a Porsche BMW M2 series for 6 weeks, so keep your eyes out on them. This is why they're not doing anything on the 22nd on that Sunday. I've already spoke with Fat Bloke and said, look, if we do it this day, your guys and our guys can do it, whether it's streamed or not. We can get something sorted there for that one. Here comes McGowan down the start straight, trying to look on the back of Harris. Can't do anything about it at the moment. And look who's behind Jamal Cloud, and Matt Wright all of a sudden came to the forefront.
Yeah, and Skunky and McGowan were switched places.
Yeah, so maybe for the championship there with Skunky and McGowan. Ledger and Rasmussen going hammer and tongue there, side by side through turn 3 at the moment. Ledger's gone a little wide onto the marbles. Wider and wider he goes. And Rasmussen through and up the inside. But this is allowing Paolo to come back at him.
It is, and I was just thinking, if we have some fun races the off season, we're going to need one that's crossplay. So that's Forza and Gran Turismo out because they're console exclusives.
Yeah, more than likely.
Oh, Harris had a wiggle into the chicane. That does not look like a very happy Lexus. Not going to lie.
And now Skunky's going to know what the back of the Lexus looks like, except this time it's red, black and white, because he's now up behind Michael Harris, and down the back straight they come, where the DRS zone would open for the second time in F1. Skunky's looking up the inside of Michael Harris. Can't get through. He's just shown the nose. Harris has left the door open a little bit. Had to, because Skunky was committed, and Skunky now up through past Harris, back into second place.
Yeah. I think is Harris's Lexus gone through that front engine rear wheel drive phase of cars go through?
Not too sure. We've seen it look loose in qualifying, haven't we? So it's hard to tell at the moment.
But look at Clouden with him.
Yeah, and Overtaker's in the background. He's going to be getting closer as well.
He is, but he hasn't dropped Mike. Mike's still within a couple of seconds of him.
Like you said in race 1, he just seems to, at the moment, be getting to grips with that car and seems to be getting, on it a bit more.
Yeah, like the season with Mike a couple of seasons ago when he was in the Ferrari.
Yeah, massively. So I think Mike is sat in a good position here. I really do. I think he's sat at the forefront and is ready to try and get back to where he was a few seasons ago in that Ferrari.
Because you think what's different than the last time he drove a Ferrari is the BOP we have now. Because the last time we did it, we didn't run BOP, did we?
No, and that's probably what he's been learning and why the Ferrari hasn't sort of felt it the same in this race. Back down to Jamal Clown though on the back of Ian McGowan. In fact, he's having a little look up the inside of McGowan. Doesn't get anything done there. Rasmussen is trying to stick with Mike. Like I say, Mike within 7/10 of Overtaker. Overtaker's just made a little mistake. Has a twitch on the rejoin at the chicane. Didn't go into the gravel, but just went over the AstroTurf on the curb. And that just seemed to unsettle Overtaker a little bit. Then down the back straight they come now. This grid pretty close together. Blackmore and Gary still with them in the background as well. And if you look at that, Dan's only just come into this final sector bit. Everybody else following him through. So it's not like massive from 1st to 16th.
No, it's not like we've had some seasons where someone just disappears and they're gone. And you never see them again.
Pit window's 12 minutes from opening. So that's You know, another thing to keep him in the back of drivers' minds.
Yep. 12 minutes away. Okay, Skunky gained 0.2 of a second back that in that final sector.
Yes, let's keep our eyes on that and see what Skunky can gain elsewhere as well. That's going to be an interesting one to keep our eyes on. But at the moment, Dan leads from Skunky from Michael Harris.
Yep.
We're watching Mike try, kind of ebbing and flowing with Overtaker. Let's go back to Ian McGowan. He sort of sat in the middle of two cars as well, isn't he? He's there with Harris, but one mistake and he's all of a sudden in the clutches of Jamal Clouden.
Yeah, and same with Harris, to be honest. And right in far away, neither's Taker.
No, none of them are far away at all in this race at the moment. Don't forget, if you want to change tyres in this race, it will cost you 65 seconds. Track temp 27 degrees, so it's a lot warmer than last night, and this is possibly now where this puts Dan in such a good window.
Yeah, because he's not that comfortable. A bit of comfort without 4 seconds.
That he can just maybe look after his tyres, bring them home, and put them in a good window.
Yeah. I mean, 4.5, managing the gap, I reckon, with Dan.
And is this why then Skunky with damage is possibly catching the back of Dan Davis? This is on board with McGowan at the moment. Is this why Skunky's just possibly catching Dan at the moment? Is Dan just looking after them tyres a little better? This is back from Jamal.
Yeah, I reckon.
Oh, McGowan bouncing over the sausage curb through the chicane. Here comes Jamal Clouden then. Down towards the start straight he comes. The grunt of that Mercedes-Benz. Is it going to be enough to pull it alongside? It pulls out now and is having a look up the inside of Adam McGowan. And all of a sudden Jamal Clouden in front, side by side, and possibly past McGowan in towards turn one. There you go. Jamal Clouden, that's a great move. You do feel though McGowan hit them sausage curbs at the chicane a little too hard. It unsettled the car and Clouden got the run.
Yeah, because the car was then unsettled. And Clouden got such a good run. Clouden's defending though in the Rosberg Hamilton corner.
Come back at him there, didn't he? Did McGowan on Clouden? Tell you what, the picture he put on Discord earlier, whatever lunch he had, he's in the gravel. Them onion rings looked absolutely majestic, nice and crispy on that picture. Matt Wright's now come to play.
So has
Overtaker Mike Rasmussen. Ledge is not far behind. It's really close back here. Gap down to 4 seconds for the lead as well.
Yeah, and Harris has been well and truly dropped by Skunky. As I was just checking.
This is pretty interesting at the moment. We're in an interesting stage of this race. Is Dan tyre saving? Just a few things happening in this race, Phil, that are just making it that little bit more interesting. Do you know what I mean? It's just getting to a position where it's like, who's doing what with what at the moment? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and of course we could go and look at everyone's streams, whoever's streaming, but we don't feel that's right. We say this every week because we look to be in mystery, or everyone in chat.
We like to find out the excitement as much as anybody. It was easy done in Project Cars back in the day. You could see the fuel and stuff. But it doesn't show you that information now if we press drive. It doesn't show us tyres, it doesn't show us fuel.
As Rasmussen's looking down the inside of Mike in the first corner.
This is in the background, can see that happening. Rasmussen, past Mike, good move that. Ferrari v Ferrari with another Ferrari in the background, then a pink Aston Martin. Gary and Blackmore having a... Go on.
Ben's within shot of this lot as well.
Yeah. Then Paolo's only a second behind with Vienna and O'Brien. Then it's a bit of a drop back to Gary Leach and Edward Blackmore. Gary Leach just doesn't seem to have anything in that Porsche race.
No, I think he'd rather be in the Ginetta.
Oh, massively. Massively. He loves that thing. So he absolutely adores it.
We need to find something similar to the Ginetta that drives like it in the GT3s for Gary.
I just don't think that Porsche is good enough in GT3s. I just don't think it's good enough. And this is where, could Dan prove somebody wrong? Dan's a good driver. Could anybody prove us wrong? It doesn't just have to be Dan. Back to McGowan. Look at this train of cars now behind that of what is Harris, Clouden, McGowan, Matt Wright, Overtaker. Rasmussen's going to try and get on the Mike, then Ledger, then Ben. Paolo's now there with Vienna and O'Brien, and Gary's going to try and close back up to them with Ed Blackmore. The only two cars that's got a bit of comfort, Dan Davis and Skunky. And that is it.
Yeah. Yeah, and Skunky's slowly winding Dan in.
Yeah, unsure if Dan's currently at the minute on a tyre saving strategy. Is he looking to be able to have them tyres better at the end of the race, but without having to change them? That's going to be the interesting strategy for us, Phil, of who is doing what.
Of course, we find out in 5 minutes when the window opens.
We do.
And for more lots of pitting, if we do have a stream on Saturday, tune in on Saturday, because how many people are going to be in the war at Bathurst?
4-hour Bathurst race on Saturday. At the moment, there's not enough cars that would feel that a 4-hour stream is going to be worthy of putting on. The race will still happen, so we'll try and get some personal streams posted on the Discord and stuff, as well as on the social media on Instagram.
Have your swear filters ready.
Round to turn 4 they come. Ledger on the back of Mike here. Look, Mike's got his own little train of cars. Mike's just dropping off a cliff here, it looks like.
Yeah, because now he's the cork in the bottle, isn't he?
Well, there's now a good gap to Rasmussen, who's going to get on the back of the other fight between Harris, Clouden, McGowan, Wright, Overtaker. Oh, I say Rasmussen he's just had a big wheel into the gravel. And then this is looking on board with Ben. And there we go, look. There's Mike. There's Ledger. And we're just seeing Ben go to the outside. Mike's defended. He's gone deep. And Ben, he fancies a 2-for-1, makes a little bit of contact, lets Ledger have the place, but Ledger gets past Mike Matthews as well. And now Paolo's putting Ben under pressure through the right-hander. Paolo's dropped the rear. That's going to allow O'Brien. Oh, no, O'Brien's been turned around by Paolo.
Oh.
And now Gary's picked up 2 places.
So is Blackmore.
This is incredible. And I think Dan said it last week. I can't remember who I was speaking to last week. Might have been Dan, might have even been Mike. The pack is so tight at this tracks like this now that it's harder to overtake them, because you just don't have that overspeed. Overtaker's just gone beautifully up the inside of Matt Wright. 16th place he started. He's now 6th. Great race.
6th.
Great opener to the race for him.
Yeah. But it's still a long way to go.
Massive way to go. Really, I'm going to ask you a question now, and again the chat can answer this one as well. Overtaker surprised me with that Mustang. I didn't think it was going to be an Overtaker kind of car. Are you surprised with how well he's doing with it?
Well, yeah, you think he's the only person in the Ford.
No.
I was still surprised he didn't go for the Bentley. He says he was very comfortable in the Bentley.
Yeah, he says that this feels like the Bentley, but a bit better. So, and obviously that's down to his driving style, obviously, but if he feels as comfortable in the, we saw how good he was in the Bentley. He pushed Ripper all the way back in the PS4 series in the Bentley, If he feels that comfortable in this Mustang, shame he's missed a couple of weeks, qualifying ban tonight. At times he's not had his best races, but obviously this car is still relatively new. He could still be learning this car.
Well, yeah, I think that's the newest car in the game. Hopefully we'll get one more update with some new cars next year, including the Corvette. And the
got to be
Evo,
Corvette, got to be the Evo.
The Evo
they're the only two that's out at the moment.
Evo of the BMW M4 as well, because that's
coming
tested.
next year. Yep, that's coming. The Lexus is for 26, so I don't think we'd get that.
I don't think we're going to get that, because I think the Kunos has said there's one more major update left for ACC.
A few more tracks.
Few more tracks, like
Manicure. I'd even take Jeddah, to be fair. It's something different. Whether we'd run it, I'd take it.
It might be better in
it might be better in GTs.
Car,
it might be better in GTs than F1.
Because in the F1 cars, it's...
Give us an Asia GT pack with Fuji, Sugo, Malaysia,
I love Fuji.
Okayama. Give us a couple more American tracks. We've got all the British ones. They don't race at Thruxton or Croft and stuff like that, so we can't go. We won't get them.
There's reasons they don't race there, because there's not enough garages and the circuits aren't the standard.
Is SimPlay going over to AC Evo? Well, there's no news for it for console yet.
No.
At the minute, it is just PC. So It's going to be as and when, Chris. Evening, by the way. I think that's the first time we've seen you in the chat. It's going to be as and when it comes for console, and I suppose it's going to be what it's like, what the broadcasting capabilities are going to be, and what the game is going to be.
Crossplay, so we can still have Xbox and PlayStation.
It's just going to be basically see what it could be, but at the minute, there's no talk to change what game we go with. The only rumour around is potentially a bit on PC, but that is it. And obviously,
Which I won't do.
Obviously, more of the endurance series coming next year. More races, more action. Yeah, looking forward to that one.
So we need stewards, we need commentators. Because it's got to be
I've not heard from Jamie Brazier in months, and he's just popped up with Macau. No. Although the GTs do race there, so I'd understand if it got added.
Oh no. Have a pile up there, that's it.
You don't hear from Jamie. I've not heard from Jamie since Silverstone, maybe even Brands. He comes up and pops up and says Macau. Like that, we had this discussion last night on the stream. Pit window opens then for the cars out there on the circuit. No real fights happening at the moment. I'll say that. Pedro Vienna's now gone up the inside of Mike. Mike's going backwards, Phil.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened to that Ferrari.
It's gone. It's done at the minute. Mike seems like that car is just finished.
Yeah. Is he in map 8?
Who would do such a thing at Catalonia in map 8?
I don't know, Matt. Who would do such a thing and put it in map 8?
Not a clue. Don't forget, ACC was 2 years on PC before it console. Exactly that, Paul Williams. The thing we've got to remember as well is if AC Evo comes out, what GT3s will it have? How many? What tracks will it have?
What other race cars?
Well, this is my point I'm about to make. We are predominantly a GT3 league, so everything else has been on the side, hasn't it? F1, other side series have been done on the side. So,
and there's a reason we don't do the F1 games no more, because they are abysmal.
They are. But at the same time, we are looking at AC Evo as being for our side series stuff over this. Insert Coin wants a Porsche Cup, ditch the GT4s. That is potential, Obviously, we always try to change and rotate our side series. Obviously, we tried GT2s last year. We didn't get the sign-ups. Porsche Cups could be coming. Good evening to Chris. Ben is he's been in Ben's stream. He's not feeling too good, and he's struggling in the Aston. He's hating it. Well, hopefully Ben will obviously carry on to the end of the season. It's great to see Ben still pushing out there and get back in that McLaren as drivers now enter into the pit lane. Gap out front 1.6 seconds. So Skunky's coming on down here.
He is, yeah, and there's a lot of, well, because there's so few cars, quite a few are now in the pits. Matt Wright's stop's done, but even before Mike's stationary. Ben's now
not sure what's happening here, because we've only got an extra 8 minutes compared to race 1, and Mike seemed to end race 1 pretty strong, and is 8 minutes after the length of race 1, and just doesn't look strong here.
No, I think the servers are still up. We could do a side season on F1 2020.
Not crossplay though, is it? Mike's got no grip. So I'm wondering then, is Mike changing tyres?
Yeah. We said I said something's wrong with that Ferrari, did I?
Yeah, he was right. I think Mike is changing tyres. He's only just finished his stop. I think Paolo may have as well, because they are way behind.
Right, Slunky's right with Dan.
Yeah, he is. We're watching this at the moment. McGowan's with Clouden as well, and Blackmore's still with Gary Leach. I think Mike has changed tyres here. Just seeing if anybody's diving into the pit lane. McGowan is. Overtaker isn't. Rasmussen isn't. What about Vienna? Don't forget, if you like what you see here, hit that thumbs up button, hit the bell to be notified, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Endurance race coming this weekend. Obviously, we're hoping for a few more cars on the grid. That'll be sorted over the weekend, though, over tomorrow. Because tomorrow will be the cut-off time, really. Earlier race start time. If you want to get involved in the endurance race, message Matthew Duffin on Discord. We could get that one sorted out for you. 4 hours of Bathurst. You can do it solo. You can do a driver swap. If you are solo, there are certain permutations and things you have to do. And then by the end of the month, by the 1st of December, I do believe I've decided that the calendar will be out. To start your festive month, if you haven't already started it, if you've tuned into my streams recently, the Christmas tree is up behind me. Got the lights on right now. So to start your festive month of December, if that's when you want to start it, the endurance calendar will drop. What greater gift could you want?
I can think of many greater gifts and
None better than that, though.
I can think of better.
No, none better than that one. Moving on.
Circuit to the South added into ACC. Yes, please.
Which one?
The full circuit. The
Of-
full Le Mans.
Oh, Le Mans. Right, okay, thank
Yeah.
you. Just say the Le Mans circuit. If we don't get
Well,
Porsche
there's
Cup champions
two.
next season,
There's
I'll go on
two.
strike in the GT3 championship, and we'll ride with the Retia. We've decided we're not doing the Porsche Cup championship because Machado's running the Retia, so we're going to see that one instead. So the Porsche Cup championship is no longer happening. That's off the table. I will speak with Dan after. How does the driver swap work on console? It's never too early. It's never too early. Plus, I only have my kids every other week, and I've got a busy schedule with weekends at work with personal work stuff, commentary at the studio. So got it up now before that. Jamie Brazier, you probably started your Christmas time in July. Jamie, it's never ended. Driver swap on console, Chris. So if they want to do the 4 hours as a solo driver, the time to swap will actually be the same as a driver swap. You sign up with a teammate, and the way it works is we register them teams as we'd register them on the entry list, and when they come into the pits they just select the name. If Ben's interested, drop me a message and I can send you a link on how the driver swap will work, or we can have a proper chat. I think you added me on Facebook today, so feel free to send voice notes, whatever it needs to be, and we can have a chat about it. I'd love Le Mans on here, would be awesome. It would be so good. Do you know the best one though, which World Endurance went to today that'd be so good on here? Interlagos. Get that one on the game.
Yeah, because I was listening to the conversation, and I'd say Le Mans any day of the week.
Yeah. If you had to take I agree with Dan. We've got Nordschleife. Get Le Mans. As
Trouble is, they need the World Challenge to go there.
That's the problem, isn't it? That's why we got the Nordschleife. But if you was to take any normal circuit, by normal, I don't mean something that's for a one-off special event, one that could host many races, whether it's F1, GTs, touring cars, motorbikes, whatever it could be. What would you pick?
Istanbul.
Yeah, Dan said the same. Great shout. Good shout. Sepang or Interlagos for me.
Sepang, yeah, Sepang's a good circuit.
Fuji,
even the old Indian F1 circuit.
100%. The Indian Grand Prix was a fantastic circuit. I was looking on the GT website last night at what tracks are coming next season, what tracks are being run. I think it's 2 weeks till we get the race at Jeddah in GT World Challenge. So you've got Jeddah and Manicourt and Hockenheim that GT World Challenge went to. You look at the American GT, we've got Sebring, we've got Sonoma, Virginia.
Sebring.
You look at the Australian GT, we've got Barab, we've got Barbara or whatever it was called. We've got the old Adelaide track, stuff like that. You then look at the American GT with, like I say, Sonoma, Sebring. You look at other circuits with the Asia Series with Fuji, Sugo, Okayama, Chang in Thailand, Shanghai International, the Chinese F1. That'd be a good one, as well as Sepang.
Sepang is a good shout as well. That was one of the better Tilke circuits. I think.
And you think of the weather around some of these tracks as well, by the way.
Tropical storms.
Tropical storms here. All of a sudden, it's 1 minute the race is sunshine. The next minute, it's a yellow thundercloud on your screen.
And you're sitting in. Oh wait, we're not Formula One.
Mm-hmm. We'd carry on racing. It's not red flag the same there. Manicourt, I agree. Best French circuit ever. Dan has got Skunky right up behind him here. We just flicked to Ben and Edward Blackmore. They're pretty close. Matt Wright's close. So back of McGowan! They've made contact for a second race in a row. They've made contact with each other. And Dan is now going to pit. Skunky has waited and he's going to carry on. And Harris here, he chooses to box and has just been brought back into this race a little bit. But again, the two championship protagonists have been spun around.
Yeah, and we've got it on stream. This time, take us in the bits. In his Darth Vader-esque Mustang. Yeah, it's got to be how we come up with that livery again.
Yeah, must be. No rain this season yet. Pro seems to be getting the best weather. Pro does seem to be getting the best. Pro-Am seems to be a bit cloudy, and the 2 GT4 races have had, mixed conditions in one race at Misano and one race this week at Barcelona. Let's see what happens. Look, we've got Suzuka to come. We've got Alton Park and Donington Park to come. Every time I'm at Donny, it seems to rain. So, it'll be sod's law that there'll be 10 degrees and beautiful sunshine this season when we race there. But yeah, let's see what happens. Obviously, we've got some tracks coming up on the calendar. Let's bring the calendar up for you, obviously, for the Pro Grid with the dates. This is what the calendar looks like then for the remainder of the season. Although I can't at the moment, for some reason. I think my Streamlabs is just frozen. I'm not 100% sure. The Streamlabs has just frozen.
Oh, well, yeah, the main broadcast is froze. I don't know if anyone can hear us, because I've got the Wheel of Doom on YouTube.
Well, we're going to keep bringing you this action at the moment. There's not a lot that I can do at the moment.
It's still Wheel of Doom. I've got the Wheel of Doom.
Well, Skunky's in the pits just as the pit window. Did he get any time there? I'm not quite sure. We'll carry on doing what we're doing at the moment. There is no audio or video.
I can hit go broadcast on my stream.
It doesn't matter because it's not going to matter because it's my Streamlabs, not my stream. My stream's fine. It's the software on the PC that's frozen.
Alright.
Right, it's stopped the stream.
Yeah, stream as it stops.
What the fuck is... Yes, an error occurred. Well done, Streamlabs. Right, so McGowan is on the back then of this fight at the moment. We hope we are back live in just 2 seconds' time. That's why I'm going to keep commentating as if we are. So McGowan's on the back of Michael Harris. And at the moment, it is all going to be going the way of Dan Davis in this race. Skunky PN didn't get in the pit box and in time.
No. It's a disaster. It's saying waiting for SimPlay Motorsport still.
There should be now a stream up and live. Oh, it does say stream.
Yeah, I've got it.
Something went
I've
wrong.
got it. So everyone refresh and come back. So Skunky missed the pit box because he waited for Dan, did he?
Yeah, I think he has. I think he has. I think that is what's cost him in this pit box. I think that is what has cost him in this race. So Skunky then, that is pretty much his race done in this one then. Matt Wright still on the back of McGowan here, but that then is absolutely catastrophic in this race.
I tell you what, driver of this race though, I think it's Overtaker with that start.
Yeah, I think it has to be. Yeah, I think it has to be. Still no audio. Apologies, we've just got the audio unmuted now. I'm not sure what happened there at all. I'm not going to press the calendar again, but yeah, something did not work with that. And either way,
tell me there's been an update for Streamlabs while you've been live.
Not a clue. If there has, brilliant. But either way, we're back live now. Hopefully you can hear us in the chat and everybody is back. Apologies for what happened there. Please now smash the like button on this one, because now we need the likes once more. Club was saying we wanted the double likes. We are back though, so Matt Wright on the back of Ian McGowan. Apologies to those who missed it, but Skunky then, if you're just tuning in, has missed the pit window due to waiting for Danny. Went the extra lap but missed it by seconds. I did say while we was off air to Phil that looks tight when he came in, Well, that is going to do Dan the world of good. But it's Lexus 1, Lexus 2 from McGowan, Matt Wright, Julius Rasmussen, then overtaker. Pedro Viana from Fraser O'Brien. That's a close little fight there. Jamal Clouden from Blackmore. Good stop from Blackmore. He was running last. He's now up to 10th.
Yeah, very good stop by Blackmore.
Mike Matthews and Paolo, we believe, changed tyres as well. So that is why they are quite a way down the grid. But you have to feel a little bit, don't you, for Skunky there.
Yeah, it's absolutely gutting. You can feel that. It's happened to everybody. Sometimes you miss the window.
And because of that contact with Dan, that little bit of time he waited for him, that's what's cost it.
Yeah, it could be worse though. Your wheel could die, or your pad goes off and you crash into the pit wall at Silverstone, eh, Matt?
Ben's on the back of Ed Blackmore here. Ignore that comment. Skunky did not pit now. Yeah, it was funny. It was quite funny. I lost the race win because of that to De Silva. Still got second, so it was alright. Ben's on the back of Ed Blackmore here. They're trying to get in on Clouden as well. Clouden doesn't seem to have much since pitting. So, interesting.
It's like the Merc has just died, or if he didn't change tyres, it's now hurting him.
Yeah, it's possibly hurting him as well. Rob Smith in the chat, I guess that the incident was Skunky's fault, so it's not like Dan caused it and Skunky gets the penalty. Exactly that, Rob. And Chloe Davis saying, go, Dan, go.
But there's a lot of what ifs in real world racing and sim racing. So the cars may not be real, but the racing is. I think Jimmy Broadbent actually says that, your best mate.
Yeah. No, I don't mind Jimmy Broadbent. He's all right.
He does a lot for mind,
He did his 23-hour race last weekend, didn't he?
Last weekend, and I was watching most of it. Yeah, and he raised, with gift aid, over £105,000
brilliant, that.
for mind.
We raised over £1,000 for cancer research, and that was a mega effort. Back on Project Course 2.
Yeah, and the race did have a certain.
Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen in there, and he took part in it, and I think that's the second time he's taken part in it.
And so he didn't rage quit it this time. He actually came onto the TeamSpeak, and you could hear him talking, and he was laughing about the penalties they were given.
This is looking back from Ben here. See Clouden just in front with Ed Blackmore as well. Down into the final 18 minutes of this race. Mike Matthews getting closer to the back of Paolo. Mike saying he had no grip.
Did he put an old set of tyres on? Maybe?
I'm wondering if he did at the start of this race, because that no grip after 20 minutes. Either that or it's the way his car set up, because he'd only gone 8 minutes longer than the sprint race, so it baffles me.
I reckon he had an old set of tyres on, because it's easily done.
Yeah, it is indeed. Just interesting, isn't it? Absolutely interesting. That
I'm sure we'll hear all about it later, Matt.
Oh, more than likely so, yeah. Chris, I've just realised there's no other BSP. Nope, no BSP again. Not been here tonight. Ben has been the one that has been carrying the flag this season for the BSP team. I will admit that. Ben has done a good job carrying the flag for them.
I think Ben needs a pay rise in BSP.
Oh, massively. Ben's been the one who's done the bulk of the work for them this season. Max had a good season when he's been here. I think Max has got a new job, and that's the problem for Max at the moment. As for Tim and Tibbs, not quite sure. But Ben has done a cracking job once again. Matt Wright's gaining on the back of Rasmussen. Rasmussen, since the pit stops, by the way, is up to 4th. So he's had a great second half of this race.
Well, I reckon he would have been up there in race 1 if...
Yeah, wheel.
It had to be hardware failure.
Yeah, massively.
Because how that car went straight on, it's like something jammed on. Like a real car.
Yeah, is indeed. That wasn't just because of his error. That was definitely due to a problem. But Matt Wright up there. O'Brien, where's O'Brien? Because he was span around earlier in the race.
He's right behind.
He's up to 8th. So O'Brien's had a good comeback as well, to be fair, Phil.
Yeah, he's had a great, I believe, Taker's in no man's land. He's all by himself.
8 seconds off the back of Matt Wright, but 5 seconds in clear of this fight. So going to be an interesting one. We've obviously got Ben behind Blackmore, Gary Leach kind of in no man. I say in no man's land. No, he's not. He's got Patrick Ledger just past him, and he's now got Skunky right behind him. And then he's got a big gap back to Paolo. Here comes Skunky, then looking to go up the inside of Gary Leach. And through he goes.
Oh,
these two had a coming together in race 2 GT4s the other day. Skunky's now got past him. Mike's within 6/10 of Paolo. Fraser O'Brien's within 2/10 of Pedro Viana, who's just had a little twitch, and that's going to allow Fraser O'Brien to have a look up the inside now. No, backs out of that one. He's got to go again in turn 5, but still can't find a way through.
He's alongside now.
Yeah, that's job done, because when you're up the inside here, you're pretty much going to get it done. It's hard to go around the outside, and yeah, Viana backs out of that one. So what's Matt Wright? Matt Wright starts to challenge Rasmussen hard. Overtaker's what? It was over 8 seconds. It's 8.6. If they start to fight hard, that could bring Overtaker back into this. Here's Ben. There's Cloud, and you see the O'Brien and Viana battle. Slap. Oh. So in a dismal day, he's took a point off Dan at least.
That's all he can do now, because he's got to get 130-second penalty for crossing the line from the game for probably just being a millisecond out of a pit window. I'll tell you what though, Harris contender of the driver of the day as well. He's been up there, hasn't he? Well, race 1 wasn't as good because of the bit of contact. But race 2, so far quite strong in second. Second and a half in front of McGowan. Yeah, I don't think Wright's catching Rasmussen quick enough, really, to...
No, I don't think he's. In fact, if anything, he's dropped off the back. Sorry, he was just doing the driver of the day poll there. I think Wright's dropped off the back of Rasmussen. Rasmussen getting close to McGowan here. Driver of the day poll has gone out. Harris, O'Brien, Rasmussen or Dan Davis. If you disagree with any of them, please comment in the chat who you think should get the vote for driver of the day, or get your vote for driver of the day. As we wait to see what's going to happen in the back end of this race. And 14 minutes left to go. Closest fight on track is that one of Ben. There you see in the background, there's Skunky and Ledger. They've dropped Gary already, by the way. Mike's still sat behind Paolo.
Yeah, Mike can't get past Paolo.
Struggled. He struggled in this race too, compared to race 1, massively.
You imagine if we got Ripper back on, if he bought a PS5. De Silva. Even like guys like Danlick, Louis Allen, and if he thought Gary's
got a drive through for track limits. So when you just thought that your race 2 couldn't get any worse, it just has.
Yeah. Yeah, some of them drivers came back. That'd be fantastic if they did, wouldn't it?
Absolutely mega to see some of them back on the grid. It really would.
I still have that saved, though, that pass De Silva did on Fury into the first chicane at Monza. As a clip on my Twitch. It is such a good pass that was.
It was beautiful. Round the outside into turn 1, if I remember rightly.
Yeah. So it shows you can overtake there and not make contact.
Mike still slidey through these final couple of corners here. At Ferrari's not happy. Rasmussen's within a second of McGowan now, and Matt Wright's just under a second to Rasmussen, so... Oh no, it's just gone back over, but I tell you what, these 3 for the final podium spot, this could get interesting.
It could be getting spicy, couldn't it?
100%. Gary's in for his drive-through. I mean, Gary's probably still going to finish ahead of Skunky. That's the bad thing about Skunky's penalties. Gary's still probably going to finish ahead of him. Ben's got Ledger and Skunky now on the back, so Ben just cannot pass Blackmore, and now he's got the 2 Ferraris on the back of him. Yeah, so no matter where you look, there's drama.
But not chaos for once.
Ultimate Race has gone the way of Gowney for driver of the day. Solid performance race 1 and so far race 2. Good shout, to be fair. It's a shame YouTube only let you have a list of 4, because I think Gowney would have been on there, as well as probably Ledger for his race 1 performance.
Dear YouTube, can we have polls with at least 10 drivers?
6.
10 choices.
I think 6. At times I think you could do with another 1 or 2.
Tell you what, I think Harris isn't out clear of second yet, because McGowan and...
No way. 2 seconds is the gap. There is no
11
way
minutes.
He's clear.
Dan's lost a little tiny bit of time though. But not much. But there's still, what, 3 tenths he lost?
We're watching the fight with Ben and Patrick Ledger at the moment. Patrick's on the back of Ben here as they come through the final corner. This could be Ledger trying to get ahead of Ben then. Down the start straight, there you go. Ben's been a bit under the weather, Chris was saying earlier in the stream. Ben's looks like he's really struggling to keep heating the tyres. So to keep heating the tyres, that surprises me as Ledger goes up the inside and Ben loses out yet another place. Hypertech, I'm giving mine to Clouden after the start of the season he's had. He's done well also today. Good race one, not as good race. He seems to have dropped off a bit in race 2. I think for me that's why I didn't put Clouden in that list, because I think he's just tailed off a bit in race 2. That's been his problem.
He was up there though until the pit stop, so...
Yeah. The pit stop seemed to have killed him at the moment. Oh, Skunky's had a moment. There's now Ledger's grid side by side with Blackmore. That one ends as well. Mike and Paolo.
Skunky's stationary. Is that going to be what I think it's going to be?
Ed is a nightmare to follow. Always seems to get to the car in the right place, says Rob Smith in the chat. Skunky has pulled over. We'll keep our eyes on that. Just further up the pack then. Overtake has gained on Matt Wright a little bit, but nothing major.
What was it? 8 seconds about.
Oh, there's a Gork on deep. That is Ledger deep. Blackmore gets back through. Rasmussen now right on the back of McGowan, Phil.
Yeah, so it's all on. Battle of the Ferraris. Wright's definitely been dropped. And Harris is doing enough to keep in front of these two.
Yeah, I think if Rasmussen gets through, he's going to have a bit of work on his hands.
Yeah. I think Dan's managing the gap now.
Yeah, he doesn't need to do anything more, does he? 9.5 seconds, 9 minutes 30, sorry.
Unfortunately, not here because of his wheelbase dying again. Skunky's at the back, unfortunately, as well. Dan could, but you don't want to lift off too much because that's when you can make a mistake again.
Yeah, massively. So we'll keep our eyes
times I've done that
on this at the moment.
But Harris, so really good drive by Harris.
Yeah, I enjoyed this from Harris. He seems to be getting to grips with that Lexus a little bit. He's 4th in the championship, so this will pull him closer to Skunky and O'Reilly. To gap him a bit more from McGowan as well to cement a top 5 place in this championship. Obviously, we're getting to that point of the season, Phil, where as we tick off these numbers on our little spreadsheet we have, numbers start to appear red, and when they become red on that screen, that basically means that they cannot no longer win the championship. So, at the minute, there is no red numbers across all 3 nights of racing, but we're getting to a point, we look at Verkrashen, he can now come next week, depending on what Dan scores obviously tonight, come next week Verkrashen won't be in the championship running, neither might Alex, neither might Richard Beasley, maybe even O'Brien. Obviously that depends on what Dan scores tonight, but come the end of next week they could be eliminated from this championship running.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got hiccups.
Skunky's in the pits.
That's a return to pits as well. That's just before. It's after the 3/4 distance, but could still be a qualifying ban coming his way.
Yeah, Rasmussen's all over the back of McGowan.
The only thing I can think of is his shoppiness came early. He did put in the Discord earlier today.
He did.
Matt Wright was saying about moving it for the football. He was like, no. And then if we just move it a little bit, Skunky went, I've got a shop coming at 10:30. It is 10:05, so if his shops come early, he's probably had to go and get that.
That's true. And then if you've got frozen stuff, you've got to put it away.
Got to get it straight away. Yeah, exactly. So he's got a shop coming at 10:30. Reason for retirement. Tesco's turned up 25 minutes early. Ah, what a bugger. You know?
I think you'd let that one go.
Oh, you'd let that one go, especially with, he's not done his pit stop. He's going to score points still. Here comes Rasmussen looking up the inside of McGowan. Get the hairpin. Great little move that from Rasmussen. Just goes a little deep on the exit. That's going to allow McGowan straight back through though. And now he's going to look straight to the outside. Rasmussen's getting really racy at the moment. This could help Harris.
It could help Harris, relieve some of the pressure a bit now. And because they're battling, that might bring Wright back into it.
Massively so. Wright is there.
And
with these
that
two.
gap between Wright and Overtaker's opened back out again.
Yeah, it's opened up to over 8.6, 8.4. I wonder if Overtaker's just content with taking that piece. It's a great race from Overtaker this second race, 16th to 6th. Really good for
What a
him.
start.
Yeah,
Like,
got past 4 or
wide,
5 cars. It was really good to see. Here comes Rasmussen once again, looking into turn 1, backs out of that. Let's just drop back down the order a second. Blackmore's on ledger, or was on ledger. Then there's Ben just behind. Mike still can't pass Paolo. I think we're going to keep with this McGowan fight. This is the one to watch. 3.6 now to Harris. So already Harris just extending that gap a little bit.
5.3 to Dan.
Yeah, has Dan tyres just gone off?
Or is Dan just managing it?
Jamie says no excuse, throw him in jail. That's come from the guy that couldn't finish a season a couple of seasons ago, kept pulling out. You know what I mean? And that wasn't free shopping.
Yes, it was the F1 seasons.
Jamie Brazier will have to get in touch soon about Donington, probably. No doubt you'll be there in April. Looking forward to that. Might be at the British GT in April as well, at the very beginning of April. See that lovely Corvette.
Oh,
and the 296.
296 is going to be next year as well.
Have a look at that. And the Porsche 992, because I didn't get to see that one, because it came late.
I think I saw it when they got to Snet, didn't I? I can't remember. I need to go through my photos.
Matt Wright's back here now. Then McGowan's just dropped a wheel into the gravel, but at a part of the track where it's easy to defend. When's Jamie Brazier getting a PS5? That's what I want to know.
Well, yeah, there'll be plenty of standard PS5s being traded in now. Everyone
he says his name is at Mazda. He pulled out 2 seasons of ACC, did Jamie? When you getting a PS5, Jamie? When you making a return?
Be really cheap. Yeah. Normal ones be cheap now because everyone's got to waste £700 buying a PS5 Pro.
Or get an Xbox, they're even cheaper.
Series S, yeah.
Jamie back out on the grid. If Kaylee will let him. My BTCC tickets on order from Robo, sorry. Who Dan told me the other day he's had heart surgery, open heart surgery. Ooh. So, yeah. Which one are you heading to, Chris, this year? Are you back at Thruxton, or are you at a different circuit?
I know what one I'll be at. Kind of hoping to build a hotel by then. So yeah, Dan 5 seconds in front.
Yeah, we're still watching this McGowan-Rasmussen fight.
They are fighting, and that's really helping Harris pull away.
Yeah, 3.9 now, so it's not massive from Harris, but it's been just enough.
Taker's now 9.5 off the back of Wright.
Yeah, so he's settled, I think. I think he's content to finishing where he is. Whoa, McGowan squeezes Rasmussen off. That was a squeeze, but you know, that's all fair in love and war, that one. I've got no problems with that.
I've been a Castle Coombe. I've been to most British circuits, to be honest.
Dan made the trip up from Cornwall to Donington. We all met up at Donington, had kind of like a SimPlay meet and greet. Messy weekend.
I didn't, because
was rather. No, I'm talking about when Dan went first time. It's going back 2 years. It was a messy weekend, and an opening for the drinks. Gary slipped in the mud and dropped his chips.
And his chips are probably still there.
There we go. Yeah, Thruxton, probably Donny. He offers me all the tracks, but way too much travel. Yeah, I understand that. If you are at Donny, Chris, hit me up, and we'll try and have a meet up. We'll be there camping Friday till a Monday as always. Littleton will be there by then as well. Littleton will be at his first touring car event.
Don't say the name you wanted to give him.
I'm telling you, I'll say the name I want to do. His name will be Ayrton. That's what his name is.
No, the micro.
Oh, the Micro Grandad Automatic Motorsport 16.
Yeah, that one.
That one didn't get passed by the missus. Didn't pass its scrutineering. Nah, she settled on Dewey for that one. This is the battle for third place, though, between McGowan, Rasmussen and Matt Wright now on the back of this. Overtaker's still not getting close enough. Let's just drop back down to Ben. He's still behind Edward Blackmore. He's been following that car for quite a while. Mike Matthews, is also still behind Paolo.
Ben probably wishing he was back in the McLaren right now.
And let's look back to Rasmussen and Matt Wright. This is on board with Rasmussen at the moment on the back of McGowan. Michael Harris only 4.5 off the back of Dan, but Dan's going to be starting the final lap of the race this time around.
Yep, for one final tour around Catalonia. And then we stay in Spain next week and head to Valencia.
Yeah, if he's not dropping chips at Donington, he's getting burnt at Knockhill. Not what you want to be seeing. Here comes Rasmussen and down the start straight on the back of McGowan. Pulls to that inside, does McGowan to defend it. Rasmussen on the outside line now as the camera pans back out. Rasmussen right around the outside of one. That is a lovely move around the outside. Rasmussen puts himself onto the podium here. What a job by the red Ferrari. Great little move.
Can he hold it for one lap as McGowan's he's still there?
Yeah, but he's also got to try and look at Matt Wright defending wise. That's his problem now. He's in a precarious position.
Yep. Skunky is circulating again, so if it is his Tesco shop and he's put it away.
Sadly, Chris, we can't do that. Harris did ask to change back to the BMW, and we didn't allow Harris to change back. So Skunky is back out on tracks. That will not be a qualifying ban for him. I'm wondering now then, was it actually the shopping that came? And that's why Skunky had to return to the pits.
He pulled over because he heard a ding dong. It was like...
Right, here we go. Dan Davis gap down to 3.9. He's going to come round and he's going to once again take a race 2 win. Not a lot stopping Dan in race 2s this season. He's won 1-2. This will be the 3rd race win. Dan's not actually won a race since Kyle Army. There you go. But Dan Davis rounds the final corner. It's going to be a race win for him. Back on the top step of the podium. Dan Davis takes the race win. Great stuff from him. Michael Harris, a great P2. Then down to the fight of Rasmussen, who got it done on the last lap. He takes P3. McGowan P4. Matt Wright P5. Overtaker coming to the line now in a decent result for him. Great second race drive from this man. Absolutely fantastic. P6. Fraser O'Brien P7. Pedro Vienna is going to take P8. Clouden got a little closer to him at the end. Clouden 9th. Patrick Ledger will come across for P10. Edward Blackmore will hang in there over Ben for 11th and 12th. Paolo a little further back as Skunky finishes a lap down, and then with that penalty, but takes fastest lap. To the line then comes Paolo for 13th, Mike for 14th, and we just got a bit of a long wait for Gary Leach, but Mike, not the second race he'd wanted. Pedro Vienna was up in 8th as the sole BMW, not bad for him. Gary Leach is down in 15th place, as we know. Ben crossed the line P12. I'm just filling the results in on the spreadsheet. Paolo crossed the line 13th ahead of Mike. Mike just couldn't get past him in this one. Overtaker, great race for 6th place, Phil. That was fantastic from him.
Yeah, well, contender of the driver of the day, but... Well, shout out for the driver of the day as well for Overtaker, and Clouden from his race 1, which boosted his confidence. As
well as Patrick Ledger as well. You know, he had a great race 1.
Yeah.
We are, though, going to head over to the Discord channel. Hopefully my microphone will work in there this time, and we'll get some driver interviews back in a moment.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm back. Everyone else it.
Max Cosby beating Alex and Max for crashing there. Then in terms of constructors championship, it is 56 points. SimPlay Racing to the Red Line Junkies. They are keeping them honest from winning a third championship in a row. Then it is the Naval Racing Team from Team FBR, Team SBR, Fat Bloke Bandits, BSP Racing, BSP Esports, Dan Seb Racing, Xbox Industries Racing, and the Greasy Bandits Racing. Don't forget, all results are provisional due to tickets, penalties, and that drop score that could come in. And there is only a couple of weeks left of the drop score. Now, that was week number 7. They end on week number 10. So there's only 3 weeks left of the drop score for this season. So depending on what drivers do, could impact that result. Apologies for the
Matt fucked it up.
No. My software froze.
Either way, it was a good night's worth of points. We were extending out Skunky, even though he's had to go and bring in the shop in at about 10 o'clock. So
I've not got a setup for this car because I've not driven it here.